And we're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday evening. That's right. You have tuned in to one of the greatest shows on planet Earth right here. One of the greatest podcasts ever made for about video games with two of the finest gentlemen you will ever see in the podcasting scene. That's right. You are locked in live to PM in the PM Pong and Mav in the PM. If you didn't know already, you found your way here. So we appreciate you all. Hope you're all having a freaking absolutely incredible week so far. We are at Thursday for us here. I know some of you are obviously in other parts of the world. You might be on Friday, headed into Saturday, whatever the case may be. But wherever you're at, again, hope your week has been absolutely incredible. Happy PS5 Pro launch day to everybody that's partaking in that, of course, new machine. We might get into that a little bit because the reviews are out. I don't know, Mav. We take those reviews like they claim video games. I guess it's a mid-console, according to some. I don't know. I won't ever know because I won't ever buy it, but I'm just saying I saw some 7s out there. Other than that, also, happy surprise Death Stranding Director's Cut launch day on Xbox. Like, out of the blue, that happened today. Everybody's favorite walking simulator is now green. Really? That was an interesting move today. But whatever you guys got going on, happy gaming day. Happy Thursday to you. But before we get in here and start knocking out some of these topics tonight, yes, you see the thumbnail correctly. We are going to be talking about 2025 a little bit. It's not going to be a deep dive quite yet, but man, Grand Theft Auto, Take-Two, Strauss, doubled down again this week and said they're going to launch next year. So I thought we'd take a peek at 2025 and see if we are going to be peaking in 2025, because 2025's list of games is already incredible. But we'll get to that and some other things tonight as well. Not a big giant week of news, but a bunch of little cool things happened this week. So, but let's get to my co-host, the man who is the better half of this team, not the better half of his marriage, but certainly the better half of this team right here. The man who owns the Fun Speculation Network, or about 49% of it, as Caitlin has 51%. The one and only Fun Speculation, a.k.a. Mav. What's going on, brother? How the hell you been, man?
Not much, man. Just been hanging out, chilling, playing some games, doing some other things, and it's been a fun week so far. But yeah, it's been a crazy week in general, just in the world and stuff. Overall, it's just always happens this time of every 4 years, just kind of the nature of the beast, right? But yeah, it's been overall pretty good. I've been having more fun playing some COD, been playing some Aura a little bit, and been just like chilling, man. It's like such a good time. There's just so many things. Like I keep seeing news for games pop up, like updates. Like it's like every game right now is getting some kind of really cool update for free. Like Age, Halo, it's like Call of Duty Black Ops has this in a week from now has the season 1 hitting with a crap ton of content. I mean, I don't know if you saw the roadmap that they laid out with all the stuff they're adding. I mean, that's
Yep.
that's being prepared for launch is what that is, man. Like
Correct.
that was crazy. Just all this stuff, man, and knowing that we have all these other games right around the corner. Other stuff happened, like, hey, everybody on Xbox, surprise, Death Stranding is here on Xbox now with dual entitlement. If you want to, and it's on sale for half off. So just
Whatever.
there you go. There's another one. If you want to play it, if you've been glued to the Xbox ecosystem and never had a chance to play it, it's a pretty impressive game. So $20, get it on PC and Xbox for the same price. That's a pretty damn good deal there. Yeah, overall, man, it's like I noticed a lot of attitudes have changed about gaming this last
Oh boy.
this last couple weeks. I would say, like, kind of leading up to the Call of Duty launch, and ever since Call of Duty launch, there's been a lot of attitudes changed just in the gaming space in general about specifically about Xbox, but just in general of like, wow, things are amazing. Now it's kind of strange, right? But I guess guess kind of predicted it also at the same time, right? But yeah, there's lots to look forward to, and yeah, we're gonna dive also into 2025 also, because
Yeah.
if 2024 is great, we might hit what Pong says. It might be we might be peaking in 2025. It really could
Yes,
be.
bro.
At least for this generation,
Bro.
it could be the highlight here. Even more so than 2023 or 2024.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll
Yeah.
have some fun conversations, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, man. Like you, I've been preoccupied this week. Obviously, big stuff in the U.S. And for anybody who hasn't heard my story, that was my realm before I swept over to video games and started a whole new Twitter life over here, X as it is now called. But I still swim in those circles from time to time. I get older, I get more political, obviously. So, yeah, it was a big week, but I haven't been paying much attention to the video game world because I've been floating around in that world a lot. But other than that, gaming wise, I'm still being a filthy console casual. As I said last week, Mav, I cannot get off this console stretch run here. The Xbox has been on every time. I did hop into a couple smaller games on PC just to try out real quick that I had sitting there. But other than that, it has been Call of Duty and Diablo. I'm a freaking casual, bro. I'm that dude. All I need is Madden in there, and that's it. I'm in, man. I mean, again, I know Diablo's a little nerdy for the casual crowd, but come on, it's become mainstream now. So yeah, that's all I've been doing. Call of Duty, again, hats off. Like you said, Mav, we'll touch on the updates that they brought today. And that is spectacular. Again, unbelievable. Like you said, Mav, talk about being prepared. And again, they should be, right? This is what they do. Like they've had Call of Duty at the top of the world forever now. But again, just to be able to come out and say, oh, we're thinking about dropping a little 10v10. What do you guys think? Should we do that? Oh, by the way, we're going to add another map to that list that we just gave you guys. Oh, by the way, you guys like Nuketown? You want to do that 24/7? Okay, we'll throw in 24/7 as well. I mean, it's just so casual for them, and that's how it is over there, Treyarch, but it's freaking amazing. We'll run through the rest of the stuff as well. But I'm loving the hell out of Call of Duty. Had a great time with you guys. Finally, you and Caitlin invited me to a game, which was nice. Again, all of a sudden Mav's got bedtime, which he never used to have. But all of a sudden, when we play together, he's got to get off by like 9:30. But anyways, it was still fun. I had a blast with you guys. Again, that's the cool part. Like I said to Steele last weekend too. The Call of Duty's good when I'm not the competitive guy I used to be anymore. But even when I get my ass kicked, because skill-based matchmaking kicks in when I'm running with you and Steele and Jasper or whoever else, that's really good. I'm still having a good time. And then that's the most important thing. I'm still feeling good. Like the maps, again, I just love the maps, love the gunplay. I love the leveling process. I love all of it. So 2 XP last weekend, I had to get in some of Call of Duty, and I did. And can't wait to Prestige. Still having Prestige, but I'm like level 45, 46, something like that. So that's where I'm at there. And then, of course, playing Vessel of Hatred. And I'm not really even running Vessel of Hatred right now. I am just literally leveling up and trying to get better gear. I actually just made oh god, what's the levels called now, man? Why did I just forget it?
Oh, the pit?
No, yeah, but what's the new level system? What's that? You got what's the freaking name for the levels
Mythic?
now? What is it?
For Mythic? You talking about
No,
for the
no,
weapon?
I'm talking about the actual level that you go into, like the
I don't remember.
God dang it! What is that called?
I haven't been playing Vessel of
I'm
Hatred.
awful at this when I need to be good. I just my god, difficulty levels. What the hell is it called? It's right on the tip of my tongue too. Anyways, so actually I haven't been doing much of the I haven't been doing hardly anything for the Vessel of Hatred. I've gotten up to a certain point in the story, but I just won't continue it because when I jump in at night, basically I'm doing runs now, and I had run the pit, but I am up to, let me see if I can get, god dang it, did anybody put it in the chat or no?
7 difficulties ranging from normal to Torment 4.
Okay, so I made up to Torment 2 last night. So I finally got to Torment 2 last night. So I'm at obviously max level Plus now at 115, I want to say. So yeah, so that's all I've been doing on Diablo, but getting some good drops. It's not perfect still to this day. There are still little things that I even have some issues with, and again, I'm not playing it as much as most people are, but I love that game. Again, as far as the looter genre goes, that's right up there with Borderlands for me. And so it's always just a dopamine hit, and it doesn't get old for me. It's one of those things. Like, yeah, I've taken breaks from Diablo, but now that I'm back into it, it just doesn't get old. I was hoping that Path of Exile was supposed to be out by now, so I would be playing that. But obviously, they delayed that until December, was it, that they are going to open it up? So I'm waiting for Path of Exile, because then I'm jumping into the new Path of Exile 2 for sure. I am all over that. That's going to probably replace Diablo for me, because I'm planning on actually being good at Path of Exile this time around. I really want to learn it more so than I did on the first one. So, but Diablo, simply fantastic, man. Simply fantastic. Just having a great time with it right now. So, but that's it, man. I'm just casual, man. I'm just casual, man. Right now, man. That's all I could do.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, I know, but there is, Mav, because again, I look at my library and I look at the amount of games and I look at the new games that are sitting there. That again, Metaphor Refantasio, I freaking want to play the hell out of that game. It's just the lumps of time that I want have gone to Call of Duty instead. Like that's been the problem.
I feel you on that for sure.
And it's weird, but that is the issue, man, for me right now. So, yeah, man, that's been about it. That's all I really done. Like I said, I touched on a couple smaller games, nothing as much as I wanted to, so I could talk about them. But that's it, man, for right now. But we've got more coming very shortly here. And like we talked about, we are going to take a peek at 2025 because 2025 is looking spectacular. But there's more to end this year. Stalker 2's new trailer today. Yo.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. They're going through the weapons, the craftings, and giving us more glimpses in that game. Like I said, shades off to GSC Game World for even attempting to finish this game. But if they actually pulled off what I thought, because if you go back after the second delay or so, I started saying, listen, I don't care when you bring this game out, I'll be here. But I'm not expecting this game to come out completely polished when you drop it. Because again, it's just too much to overcome. Like I can't even fathom. But the more they show this game map, the more obviously we had those great previews from people who actually got to try the latest build this year. It sounds like they might actually have a really polished game, which would be insane. I know they've had a ton of delays, but rightfully so. But with everything going on, if they come out with a polished Stalker 2, we're talking like one of the better performing games in 2024. Like that's going to put a lot of devs to shame for what that dev studio went through, man. That is going to be nuts, but it's looking like it. That was my point. The new trailer today really looked good. So I'm looking forward to Stalker 2 and obviously Indiana Jones. Choo choo. Motherfuckers, we're going to have a good time on Indiana Jones because everybody in the previews, even if they didn't like the game per se, which there was some people who had some negative thoughts about Indiana Jones, the one thing they all said was they nailed the atmosphere of Indiana Jones completely, the old Indiana Jones. So I know for a fact that game's going to be taking up a ton of my freaking time, man. So I can't wait. So
yeah, Indiana Jones is everything about them saying how it captures the actual franchise and like what it's about and everything, right? And that's looking special. And also some of the praise, people were kind of talking about things with it that we talked about a long time ago when I was talking about the history of machine games and the fact that they've always kind of taken on other IPs. Even before that, when they were Starbreeze, or not when they were Starbreeze, but when the people that started machine games were at Starbreeze, the same founders, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, like, you have a lot of culture that came from there, obviously, because the culture comes from obviously the people that really kind of start the studio and run it, right? So, when they back at Starbreeze, they had made a couple franchises that they didn't own, right? Done games like Riddick, right?
Yep.
The Darkness, stuff like that, and they were amazing games. And when they came over and started machine games, then guess what? They took over Wolfenstein, right? So it's like, hey, that's another one that they brought, that they were handed off the baton of another amazing IP, right? And said, hey, do what you can with this. So based on who the studio is and what their pedigree was for kind of staying true to what makes these IPs special, it was, I had a lot of confidence in them for that. I didn't know what kind of game it was going to be, right? But seeing more of it, it really takes me back to Riddick, because that's not a game you would have expected to be first person either, right?
Right.
But they managed to capture it, and I think Indiana Jones in a lot of ways is going to be able to do a lot of that same stuff. So, looking forward to playing that game, man. The puzzles are probably gonna be fun. Combat's gonna be fun. I think the story is gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be one that maybe not some people won't like, but I have a feeling it's gonna hit for a lot of people.
Yes.
So, but that's just one. Stalker 2, man. Again, that trailer, like you said, dude.
It's
Like I'm just like the gunplay looks great. The like
it's
it, the
great.
like they're talking about the weapon
Yep.
attachments and like looting,
Yep.
the environment, the enemy, like
Yep.
just it looks like a game that I could endlessly replay. Also, just living in that world and going around and hunting for stuff and looking for stuff, trying to survive, and it's just awesome, man. Like to have this many different things to play, sitting on amazing games that I haven't finished yet,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
And that
That's
I can continue to play as much as I want. All these other games that I love continuing to get amazing updates that I could go check out if I have time to. Age Mythology Retold, another one that just got a free huge update.
and we
Like
gotta go try out the co-op, bro.
I know we haven't even done that yet.
And the new, remember, because it's got that new.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
gotta go
through
try
that.
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It like it's just awesome to have this many different options like sitting at your disposal. Like I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. Um, and I want to do it all, right? Because that's the kind of gamer I am. I like all these genres, I like all these franchises, and I like all these kinds of games and stuff. It's just they're all hitting. They're all hitting right now. But yeah, it's gonna end of this year is gonna be great. Going into 2025 is gonna be even crazier. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and I'm sure we'll get into it.
yeah, we for sure will get into that when we get to that topic. But yeah, man, this is a great time to be a gamer. And again, I feel almost guilty for just playing Diablo and COD at this point. I really do. Like there are times where like, holy shit, man.
They're
Like,
fucking
what am I
amazing though,
doing?
right?
Yeah. No, it
Yeah.
is amazing because COD hasn't, really done this to me for in a long time, right? And Diablo, again, I had set it down for a month of that previous season to Vessel of Hatred. I didn't play any of it. That was the first season I had completely just let go. So hopping back into that, but I literally do feel kind of guilty because there's just so much that I should be enjoying. And that's not
Yeah.
including even the older games that I'm picking up, that I've got this huge, massive list now of games that I should be playing. And there's other games that have come out that I want to buy, right? Like Shadows of the Dam drop, right? The
Mhm.
remaster came out for Shadows of the Dam. Got great freaking reviews, right? I want to pick that up. It's not expensive. I think it's like $30 or whatever. I can find it on sale on PC for like $20. But Shadows of the Dam, I want to run through again. I just don't have the time. I still got Lollipop Chainsaw sitting there that I started that I haven't gotten through. It is, and again, not that the grazer in me doesn't go, well, you're never going to really finish them or whatever, but I still am sitting on all these games going, Jesus, I got to get to some of these, but COD's calling me. But Diablo's call. Oh, just let me just log into Diablo. Let me just level up. Let me get my Paragon up. Let's see if I can get a couple lucky drops. And then an hour later, hour and a half later, and I'm like, oh shit. Okay, well now I'm getting
Yeah.
close to bedtime, so I'm just gonna finish. Like I'm like, fuck, man, what am I gonna do? So, but yeah, it's a first world problem to have. Like again, I understand that, but it is kind of like overwhelming at this point. There's not too many times where I get this way, but man, these past 2 years. And then we're going to talk about next year. There's so much. I got to get back to Dragon's Dogma 2, for God's sakes. Still my game of the year at this point, too. But anyways, everybody, I hope you're all enjoying whatever games you guys are playing, right? Again, there's a billion of them to play. But I hope you're all enjoying them. Obviously, I'm going to shout out the chat here, but make sure you do hit that like button and share us out if you get an opportunity. Again, Mav and I don't do the business side of shit. We haven't done it very well forever, but it does help us, right? It does help us. So if you could do that, take a second. If you got an extra second, greatly appreciate you. You know that, guys. But let's shout out the chat here, and then we'll get into some topics, talk about some of the cool news coming out this week. So we got the Poison Maniac back in here. And as you guys can tell, I'm not coughing anymore, which is also great, right? Yeah. Back in the gym this week for the first time in 2 weeks. So that's beautiful as well, but I'm not coughing. So I can kind of get back into this. Poison Maniac, thanks for being here. The God Emperor Sofa King's back in the house. What's going on? We got the Cyber Gunter in the house. What's going on? Cyber. We got the It's Timmy. It's Timmy's in here. What's going on? It's Timmy. We got Roberto Z dropping in. He says backlog has its own backlog. Yeah, that's why I've just gone to. I have a gaming library, and that's it. Again, some books will never be taken off the shelf. I swear I'll be going to my grave with games I never touched that I own, which is sad to say, but I just know it's going to happen, man. There's just no way. Coach Hood Canuck is in the house. What's going on, Coach Hood Canuck? Oh, attention, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, the list of amazing people aboard the Fun Speculation Hype Train, we do have an announcement from myself and Mav because we need you to check your 4-point harnesses real quick as you've been paying attention. At least I hope you have been to the screens above your head. And if you haven't paid attention to them, the attendants that are walking around warning you right now, listen to them because the one and only Lotus Esprit, one of the best vehicles ever made, has dropped a 10 bomb on us. That's right. He came on the court with the easy 10 dunk, dropped off a bag, 2 bags of coals, no less, got us 2 more cars full of speculators to get this hype train up to a nice, easy Mach 3.0. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo, keeping us ad-free in 2024 going into 2025. And speaking of hashtag no beans, that's right, the God Emperor Sofa King said, oh shit, we're adding people to the hype train tonight. Let's go. Let's get this train up to a Mach 3.5. And he got on the court with the easy 5, the nice little layup, the little finger roll. Thank you, God Emperor Sofa King, for dropping off that bag of coal. We are shoveling it on into the furnace and getting it burning hot right now. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo. Again, check those 4-point harnesses. We don't want you flying off the hype train at this speed. Mach 3.5. Thank you all. Appreciate you so much. Again, never expected, but always appreciated around here. Absolutely. Choo-choo. Ha, 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 ha.
I couldn't help it.
I love it. We got you back, man. That's so freaking awesome. I love it. We got the one and only beautiful Miss Caitlin in here. That's right, Miss Caitlin doing all the thumbnails, all the redesigns. And by the way, your hat and sweatshirts, Mav, the merch, looking good too. And if anybody doesn't
my hoodie's downstairs, I meant to bring it.
Yeah, man, that was looking real good. Caitlin, again, and for anybody who doesn't know, Mav's got new Fun Speculation merch, which also obviously helps the channel. You can go check out those. I'm sure he's got the links attached. So please go check out the new merch as well. We got the Mass Hole 1977 in here. What's going on, Mass Hole? We got the Nam Omar. What's going on, Nam? Great to see you in here. How many people are going to clip? I know I'm going to record that section of Indiana Jones, by the way, when it comes up in the game. I literally am going to go clip that thing, man, and I'm going to post it on X. It's so freaking great. Anyways, Depka, great to see you, Depka. Depka, by the way, your art, AI art, whatever you're using, beautiful, my friend, beautiful. You brighten my timeline all the time with your artwork. So thank you, Depka. Appreciate that, brother. Thank you for being here too. Sanchez MTZ Gaming is joining us tonight. Says new FTC buying from foreign company PlayStation is un-American by American Xbox. Oh, we might get into Miss Lena Khan, who's about to be unemployed. We might get into a little FTC because it might be. I saw King pick up on this right away.
Yeah.
I saw the congratulations from Saki.
Lulu's.
Yes, Lulu's. Yeah. Yes, yeah. Ready to work or whatever it is. Yeah, yes. She put Lena up, bro. Acquisition season might be on. I'm on record as saying after what happened with the Hi-Fi Rush team and stuff that I didn't, whether I wasn't. If Xbox buys more, they buy more, but I'm not going to push it anymore because obviously they are going to close studios, which is something that I thought they wouldn't do quite as fast as they have. Again, everybody's got their own opinion on that. We already talked about it, but let's be real. I have also said that they are going to buy somebody in the East. or at least attempt to buy somebody in the East eventually here. That's the one blind spot. But acquisition season might be back on the table, boys, because like we talked about back in the day when we were really into this, Mav, all it was going to take was an election change to open up things. And that's exactly what happened. Things are going to open up. And Satya was out there with the congratulations very early. Very early. He knows. So, and again, it's more on Microsoft as well as a whole, but Xbox being a part of it, it's gonna be cool to see if some things start to happen and move and shaking again. So thank you for that. And Sanchez MTZ Game, and I appreciate you being here, brother. Matty Burns is in the house. What's going on, Matty? Always great to see you, man. One of the OGs, one of the first people I met in this community through chat before I was podcasting. Love Matty Burns. Just a welcoming dude, always hanging around. Matty, thank you for being here. Said I grabbed Death Stranding today, $20. Seriously, I've never seen a price that low on PS5. It's not. Go look at PS5's. I think it's still $70 for the director's cut right now. I think it's $69.99. I'm going to say. I picked it up on PC last month and part of a Fanatical bundle for $7. Right. I might double dip this, Mav, because it's Play Anywhere, and that's a big deal.
$50 right now.
$50. $50. Okay, $50. $50 a PlayStation. But yeah. Pretty awesome. Yeah, we're going to talk about it because Kojima put out a statement too, which indicated that this is the new thing going forward. So anyways, we'll get to that. But Matty Burns, great to see you in here, brother. Let's see. It's Timmy. Scrolling.
I would have assumed they would have put it on sale on the PlayStation also to coincide, but PlayStation's like, nah.
We want that money, bro. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It is crazy, man. Ray Oid is in here. What's going on, Ray Oid? Great to see you in here as well. Of course, the Lotus Esprit, who made himself known with the 10 bomb. He's also in here. Thank you again, Lotus Esprit, for being here. Who else? We got drop it in here tonight. It's Timmy. Got Lotus Coach. Who else? We got the Sheba Army Brat. What is going on, Sheba? Great to see you in here. We got the Void Rat. What's going on, Void Rat? Says play D4 for the first week and haven't played it since the game is an insult to the Diablo franchise. You can feel that way, Void. Again, is it anywhere close to 1 and 2? Of course not. 3 wasn't, right? 3 got blasted. 4 came out not in great shape, but it still was fun to me. To most of us in the Fun Spec fam, we had a great time with it, even though it wasn't perfect. They've changed a ton, but if you are a purist when it comes to Diablo 1 and 2, then yeah. This is the modern Diablo. It's made to capture a giant amount of people, and it's not going to play as well. But again, the atmosphere wise, the darkness and the story was what got me on Diablo 4 for sure. But still, I'm not picky when it comes to looters. You give me a good cycle with interesting loot, and I'm in. So for me, it still captures me, but I totally understand where you're coming from, Boyd, and I don't blame you if you're a purist for sure. But great to have you, brother. Appreciate you dropping in here. Alvin, he says Paragon. No, Paragon. I knew what Paragon was. Again, I'm 119 Paragon right now. I knew what Paragon was, but thank you for trying to help there, Alvin. Zach Riley also tried to help with Paragon. Zach Riley, what's going on? Great to have you a part of the show. We got the Solid White 731. He's already Prestige level 2. Level 24, hooked like crack. Yes, sir, Solid White. I would say you are, sir. Prestige 2 already? Ah, damn. You putting in the time. BT Maverick 707. What is going on, BT? Great to see you in here as well. Appreciate you. Who else we got in here? Blue Arrow. Sup, everyone. Sup to you, Blue Arrow. Thanks for dropping by and joining the show tonight. Matthew Gale, what is going on? He said, I just got Death Stranding on Xbox. Big win. Man, it's funny, Mav. It's funny that when games show up on your platform after a long time, and I'm not calling out anybody in the chat. I'm just saying I saw a lot of people on X that I know for a fact downplayed Death Stranding for all these years.
Yeah, called it like the UPS game or whatever.
Yeah. And I saw them picking it up right away today.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's not going to be a game for everybody. I freely admit that. Not everybody's going to enjoy it. We know how much Boxenberger hates it. But really, that game, again, for $20, that Decima engine, it's one of the most beautiful games you'll fire up. Again, it's crazy good. I haven't fired it up on a console yet, but I fired it up on the PC. Holy shit, bro. That Decima engine is ridiculous. And there is fun to be had there. And if you like any little piece of Kojima storytelling, this is pure Kojima storytelling. So there's going to be something there for you as long as you can get through the walking and the bridge building. But there's cool stuff there, and there is action that happens. And honestly, finding shit out there, collecting boxes and shit, kind of scratches an itch of exploration. It really does. So I can't wait to get back to it again. I think I'm going to double dip with the Play Anywhere. I almost have to at this point because it's just like, well, Jesus, I know I own it on Steam, but fuck, if it's Play Anywhere and I can play it between PC and Xbox, come on, man, it's perfect. Anyways, hope you enjoy it for sure. Def Leppard, he says, I bought it too. Jesus. I love this. I actually really love it. I hope Kojima sees these sales and is just smiling ear to ear because, again, we're going to get into it, but he did indicate now that he owns the IP, and that's how this all went down, right? I know I saw some people jumping early going, oh, PlayStation's officially third party. Okay, no. They just sold the rights back to Kojima, but now that he controls his IP, he made it clear today that more shit's coming to Xbox. So, I mean, again, Death Stranding 2, whether it's timed exclusive or not, is going to be on Xbox sooner than this by a long shot.
It just depends what kind of deal they had already made with PlayStation for exclusivity and what.
And obviously the Decima engine is Sony's, so it's Guerrilla Games, right? So I'm sure that's going to be a part of the contract, right? To use the Decima engine, that they get some exclusivity to it, but maybe not. Maybe there's some other kind of deal involved, but obviously, hey, it's cool as hell, man. So I'm happy for everybody out there getting to try this game finally. Fuzzy Tomato is in the house. That's right, not Fuzzy Belvedere. We got a Fuzzy Tomato. It says 5 new maps for season 1 is amazing. Let's get Halo on that schedule. LOL. We got a little Halo speculation too, Matt, that we can jump into. I want to hear your take on it. I don't know if you talked about an FSP because I didn't catch you guys, but anyways, again, we're going to talk at the Treyarch News this week today that their scheduled lineup here for Call of Duty is pretty damn impressive. It's pretty cool. Nathan Hardman is going in here. What's going on, Nathan Hardman? Appreciate you, brother, for dropping in here. We got the Niturnal. What's going on, Niturnal? Who else? We got Calorie. What's going on, Calorie? Great to see you, brother, as always. Thank you for being here and joining the show. We got the Brett Bingham in the house. What's going on, Brett? Great to see you, brother. And the Masshole 1977. Sup, nerds? Sup to you, Masshole. You know I love when you come in here with that, man. I will pridefully wear the nerds tag for sure. E-Rex, what's going on? I see you jumping in here. Razor Ultron AEC4 live. What's going on? Says the game intro starts with Sony Interactive Entertainment. Okay.
Yeah. I think I see a lot of people point that
because they did fund it.
But also, I mean, when these games are made, like a lot of times, it was made when it was owned by Sony. By Sony, the IP.
Yes.
And a lot of times when a company publishes a game, also they will have assistance with helping the studios back and forth and stuff like that. So
correct.
Sometimes if like Xbox doesn't directly make a game, right, you still see like Xbox Game Studios on it because like it's from Xbox Game Studios Publishing as well. And they had assistance with some development aspects of the game or engineering and stuff like that. So I wouldn't put too much stock into necessarily that aspect. I think it's a credit that's going to stay with the first Death Stranding, as long as it exists. But maybe even Death Stranding too, because they had deals in place with that. Also could have something to do with help with the Decima engine and stuff like that also. But, there's a lot of different factors that could play into that, but I would say like MLB The Show is more of like a PlayStation third party thing than this, because PlayStation still owns that rights to make that franchise. They don't own MLB, but they own MLB The Show, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting now that they don't own this anymore, right? And that could have been numerous things. It could have been after a certain amount of years, Kojima had in the contract that the IP would come back to him, or it could have been like for a certain price, or who knows exactly what the original deals they made up. Yeah. But it seems like it was kept quiet.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was kept super quiet.
I mean,
So,
just last year they were still using it in their banner on PlayStation's banner as first
yeah,
party. So,
right.
yeah.
Like, for sure, and, like, it's like, "Hey, here you go." All of a sudden, it seems like he couldn't wait to get it out as soon as he's able to,
Yes.
right? So, he had it ready to go.
Yeah, he had ready to rock and roll, man.
Ready to rock and roll on Xbox.
Yep.
So, it's awesome.
It is. It's really dope. Where was I here? I was just catching up on anybody else that jumped in. Oh, Ron Slusher, what's going on? It says, yo, 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 what's going on, Ron? We got the East Side Vandal, of course, dropping in here. Thank you, East Side. We got the Abdel114. What's going on, Abdel? Thank you for joining us. We got the -0, says, playing it right now, can confirm it is a graphically impressive game.
Oh, yeah, it's
Bro,
like
it's
one of the
beautiful.
top tier, yeah.
Decimate engine is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's one of the best engines I love that engine. That engine is amazing.
Kojima's always had good graphics in his games anyway, so, like, but, like, using this and
he's a master at that. Kind of like the Coalition's a master of, Unreal, even though they didn't,
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't really, they were part of the original team and stuff, but let's be real. Again, they ain't necessarily a creator, whatever the case may be. That's the way Kojima is with Decima. Like what Kojima's done, again, the Death Stranding 2 presentation, Mav, with that photo mode, that was like real. Like that was
Right.
faking people out.
That's like Ninja Theory, Hellblade, like, right? Yeah, like,
it was crazy.
That Ninja Theory and Hellblade is the only other game I like that's like maybe past slightly what they're capable of with the faces.
They are,
facial animations and realism, right?
Yes.
But like they're both like
amazing, bro. Yeah. Amazing. Weapon X says, I made it. Glad you could make it tonight. Weapon X, appreciate you dropping in here as well. Jax82. What's going on, Jax82? Great to see you. Dark Zone 2525. Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier. Sony seems like, again, like Mav said, we won't ever know what the contract actually stated originally, but they obviously somehow Kojima got all the rights back. So whether he got a right to buy back if he sold a certain amount of copies or whatever the case may be, or if he just, maybe Sony just understood that with Kojima, like Konami, like they can't do anything with Metal Gear except for remake the old ones because they can't make a new Metal Gear because it won't be Metal Gear. They've even come out and publicly said that. Like they are kind of stuck because of Kojima's relationship with them. And maybe Sony realized, hey, Kojima's never going to come into the fold. He's never going to become a part of PlayStation, so let's just give him the rights because what are we going to do with this, right? So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll get more stories about why it went down or how it went down, but whatever the case may be, that's exactly why.
It was also crazy that he went ahead and did the whole Xbox store on PC, so the full entitlement thing too, right?
Yes,
correct. So if you buy it,
another third party doing that, Mav. What? That's another third party game that has no Game Pass deal.
Yeah. I think people are starting to get on board with that a little bit more because they see that the cloud ownership thing or the game library aspect, and it's all going to be kind of tied together within this stuff. So maybe that's part of it. I'm not exactly sure. Or maybe Xbox is having to pony over some.
Maybe they just get a better percentage. Maybe they get better cut.
Could. But there's got to be some reason to entice them to do that, right? So, for whatever it's worth, it's best for us as the consumers, right?
We are the only benefactors of that,
right? It's if you buy, if your decision is to actually purchase Death Stranding today, the best value you're going to get is on an Xbox ecosystem.
Yep.
Even if it was the same price everywhere, the best value you get is in the Xbox ecosystem because you get dual access,
correct?
PC and Xbox. But it's also on sale. Is it a today only sale? I think is what they said, or
is that what they said?
They said limited time, like today, limited time. It's on sale. So I don't know if that meant
really.
Today only
You're gonna force me to pick it up like immediately? Is that what you're telling me?
I don't know if that's what they that's what they meant. Does anybody know in the chat when they said the sale's gonna end? But it's a good deal, $20 for that game. I already own it on PC actually because I think it was like given or really cheap as one of the deals that they had out there for like a temporary thing at one point. But
special limited time here. Hold on, let me read if they got official dates. I'm pulling up the 505 announcement here real quick because for anybody who doesn't
14
know,
days, Jack.
14
Thanks,
days.
Jax. Yeah,
perfect. Oh yeah, it does say right there. Ends in 14 days. Perfect. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 50% off for 2 weeks. Let's go.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people bought it today, man.
A lot of people are posting. Yep,
Yeah,
grabbed it. I mean, again, for that price point,
yeah,
honestly, even if you were one of the people that said, "Oh, it's just a walking simulator" or whatever else, for $20, it jump in because, like I said, just the exploration and the cutscenes, like it's some really. I mean, it's Kojima, so it's weird. And again, don't think that you're gonna understand it all, but it's just really fucking cool to see his imagination come to life on the screen. That's the thing. I said even Kojima games that aren't for me, I love Kojima being in this industry because he pushes things forward and he thinks so far outside the box as a creator that he makes other devs better because of the things that he puts out there. Even if they don't
yeah,
directly influence the devs, devs look at his stuff because of the cult of personality that he has become within the game industry. Devs will still look at his stuff and go, shit, can I grab any of this magic? Like, oh shit, Kojima's willing to push boundaries out here. He's willing to
hmm
put this on screen. Like, my shit doesn't even look half as crazy now. Like,
yeah.
maybe we can pull this off, right? Like, I think he does. I think he's done a lot for the industry.
And you say an interesting thing to this too is like also just like the overall strategy from the platform holders on like IP ownership and
Mhm.
studio ownership and Xbox's approach with acquiring these publishers and acquiring all their IP, and they have like this massive army of development power now and all these studios and stuff, right? And then you saw like what Sony's doing is like they have their, tentpole studios still, but they've been doing deals with other studios and publishing their games and stuff. And maybe they buy the publishing rights or they buy the rights to the franchise or whatever. Or so a lot of them, maybe they don't even do that. They just publish the game as well. But you saw that how this bit Microsoft in the ass before, right? Even something like Sunset Overdrive with Insomniac. Insomniac went over to Sony. Guess what? Like Xbox. Well, we don't have Insomniac. So what the hell are we going to do with this? We're going to give Sunset Overdrive back to them, right? Things like that. You saw the exclusives last generation with Remedy and all these different kinds of examples. The Square Enix with the Tomb Raider franchise and all that kind of stuff. And at that point, there's a point when Phil took over and he was like, they want to invest in IP and franchises that they own. And I think it bit them a little bit in the ass as well because they were not able to fill in the gaps as much getting started this generation when all these studios are cooking behind the scenes, right? PlayStation had more out earlier because they had a lot of sequels and remakes and all that kind of stuff, right? But now you're starting to see with like this is the kind of things that bit Xbox in the ass before. Uh, for whatever reason, like, they'd let Death Stranding go back to Kojima now, and they don't really have control of that franchise, which was a promising franchise for them. That's one of the games that everybody was excited for, next year was Death Stranding 2, right? So, are they going to is it gonna have the exclusive power that it did before that all the console warriors and everybody, screams about and all that kinda stuff? Because well, now even if it is, it's like for how long, you know? So that's the thing. You look at other franchises and games that they've done similar things with, like Stellar Blade, right? Um, who knows exactly like how all that's going to pan out, but relying on second, third party kind of deals and stuff is you can have your hits, you can have your home runs, right? But it doesn't necessarily always pan out for you in the end. So Microsoft learned that lesson last gen, going into this gen, and you see two different complete strategies there. Like Xbox still uses a third-party developer for support, and also for some of their games, like Oxide made Ara. You know,
Mhm.
Asobo makes Flight Sim, right? But those are like I Asobo doesn't own Flight Sim, right? That's obviously a
Right.
Microsoft
Yeah.
thing,
Right.
Ara is. You could end up having the same situation happen with Ara. Who knows, right? But there's less of that on Xbox now. It's more so like they own the studios or they have some projects being developed from third party companies that they're publishing, but those are all from the Xbox Game Studio publishing side. right? As opposed to PlayStation using it to bring pretty much most of their exclusive games.
Right.
So
Correct.
very stark difference.
Yep. But all very valid points. Nate Dogg, I see you jumping in here, brother. Nate Dogg, why you come in here asking if Mav and I got a PlayStation 5 Pros? You were here for our whole discussion on the PlayStation 5 Pro. You
Yeah.
were.
I had said if Xbox made one, I would have bought one.
Right. No, Nate Dogg gave us credit for being
yeah.
fair that night too, because again, we are.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna. I have zero reason to own a PlayStation.
But I want to retract it after seeing the comparisons today. Like I admittedly would go in there and be a sucker, right? Like, hey,
Right.
I want all my games, but I got to tell you, like after seeing the fact that these games frame rates are not really going to be improved hardly at all.
Yeah.
Like that would leave no point to me. So even unless Xbox had a Pro that actually had a better CPU in it, I think it would be maybe it wouldn't be for me because I saw like Baldur's Gate 3 had like a 4 frames per second improvement and stuff. Like I'm just like
this is the thing, bro. This is what everybody
Yeah.
talked about, though, right? Is it's going to be hit or miss depending on the game. It's going to be hit or miss. They're going to push the resolution boundaries. There's obviously digital, and again, I'm not the tech dude, right? Not the tech dude. I understand basics. But anyways, Digital Foundry said that there's obviously a problem with some games with the coding for PSSR, right? That's causing some kind of bottleneck or something that is preventing it from performing as well as it should using PSSR. So again, are they probably going to smooth that shit out? Yes, they probably are. Is every game going to be locked at 60? Like, no, it's not. That's already showcasing that that's not going to happen. Like, it's going to give you a better shot, and there are going to be certain games that certainly overperform. Now, I've heard Stellar Blade is supposed to be amazing difference on the Pro versus the base. So there are going to be games that showcase this map, but this is going to be a hit or miss. Like, this is an enthusiast console that if you've got the money and you got the best of the best and you just want to say you have the Pro and you don't have a PC, then sure, go get it. Like like we both said, we both agreed if Xbox was doing this, I would probably have still gone out and got it, man. I'm not going to lie. Even if I was still console only, and again, if Xbox was doing this and they came out, even if let's say tomorrow Xbox announces it and they're going, well, we're coming out next week with the Series X Pro, surprise, and it's going to have you have a better chance at 60 frames in most of your games, I probably still would go do it just because, right? Because that's the kind of enthusiast I am. But everybody who thought this was going to be some gigantic leap, they were overselling you. Yes, the GPU technically is a pretty damn big generational leap from the first one, but that doesn't change, as we all know, when the CPU hasn't been upgraded, and it's not going to work miracles in every game. Like, it's just not.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of goofy how people oversold it, but again, that's okay. It's new tech. People get excited. I'm guilty of it. You're guilty of it. We get super pumped for new tech, and again, if you bought it, congratulations. I hope you're enjoying the hell out of it. But there are certainly, like you said, man, some games where I was like,
yeah, like I would. My expectation if I went and bought like that level of hardware would be that at least for like almost all the games, right? All the big new games, you're getting at least 60 frames per second. Right. You know what I mean? So like the fact that there's several games that have already been out that aren't able to push beyond that using the and even ones that were like updated for it, right? They're not able to because it's a CPU thing. So, I thought maybe they would be able to like, okay, well, we can like lower the resolution down and then take advantage of this other thing that'll free up some resources for the frames, all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't work that way, I guess, right?
No,
so the CPU
it prioritizes it prioritizes the actual graphics as always, and then secondary is the frames. That's what DF is saying has happened. The PSSR is taking over to prioritize, and it's costing frames in the long run.
Yeah. So like it was seeing like that kind of stuff on the comparison things. I'm like, well, for me personally, like I'm happy with fidelity in games, right? Like the extra ray tracing, all that kind of stuff doesn't really do anything for me. And my mind was blown last generation at some of the graphics we got, And like I think a lot of the games look great. I just want better performance. And if I was to buy a new console, like that's my main sticking point, right? So that for me is like seeing that on these games that were more or frame rate challenging, I'll say, not be able to push beyond that
Right.
is what would.
Yeah.
And if Xbox Pro, whatever, if they had
Sure.
made one, if it had the same issue, I would have been disappointed if
Yeah.
I bought it.
Yeah.
So but that's just me personally. Like,
Right.
if you are super into the fidelity and the graphics, and you want like, hey, anybody get what you want and like have a blast with it. I'm not trying to take away
Oh
from
God, no.
anybody's excitement over that.
Yeah. No. No.
It's just on my personal thing, like because
Yeah.
I was like saying, hey, like I would have bought one of Xbox, but now seeing it, I would personally feel regret.
Yeah, and like I said, it depends on the games because like for the Final Fantasy VII fans, like the improvement in the resolution on Final Fantasy VII is ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
I did see those videos. I'm like, holy shit, bro. Like, wow, like that's huge. But again, are we back to the same point that we've made a billion times? Whether you're talking PC, console, or whatever else, it's up to the devs and optimizing. And again, the devs are using crutch, they're using power to crutch everything. And if they don't have that power, like the consoles, then all they do is just zap the resolution down and they go, here you go. There's your perform like, hey, there you go. That's what you got. But if you got the power, then they brute force it and everything works. But brute
yeah,
forcing is not the way gaming should be. It should be optimized by the devs to perform on the hardware at its optimum peak, but that's not where we're again. The pipeline's broken. This goes into the bigger issue about where the money's going, where the time's going, where the resources are going into making AAA games, especially, and what the quality levels that we're seeing come out the gate are. And sometimes not even being fixed down the road with patches. Some games are just left to be that way. It is a question that's fair to ask when you see something like that, because I'm like, holy, that's a massive amount of difference, bro. Like it's like holy
mhm,
shit, night and day. But anyways, shout out to PlayStation 5 Pro, by the way. I guess we could touch on that too, by the way. Just again, the reviews kind of reflect exactly what we're talking about here, man, right? The
yeah,
reviews kind of reflect that. IGN has now famously, IGN seems to be, IGN finally seems to have figured out that they weren't going to beat the Xbox bias, the Xbox tax rap, unless they did something pretty drastic. They're on a little streak here, man, where they're feeding the guys and gals who say that there is no Xbox tax. They're feeding them a couple of snacks lately to give them pause and to say, oh, see, we told you IGN's not seed bias, because IGN rolled out one of their famous sevens for the Pro here, Mav, which according, again, not us. So don't take this as us saying this right now, because you know the Fun Speculation family does not agree. But to people in this community, a 7 for a game is mid. Okay? It's a mid game. This is what they said about Starfield when IGN gave it a 7, right? This is what they've said about all of it. It's almost to the point now in this community, if it's not an 8.5 or above, it's mid in some circles. So, Mav, this console got a 7. It got a 7 from IGN. It got a 70 from Digital Trends. It got a 70 from Games Radar. And then it got 80s. And that's about it. It even got a 60 from Stuff magazine.
yeah.
Can we say the PS5 Pro is mid at best here, Mav?
I'm sure it's. I would say maybe
$700 mid console.
I think like in general, I think the PS5 is a good console,
Yes.
right? Like, so it's a better version of a PS5, but kind of but better, more so fidelity wise than it is performance wise. So I think the whole conversation comes down to value and price point, because like overall PS5 is good as a hardware. I think it's like controller's good. I think like the menus are good. I think it like plays games well. there's a lot of things the PS5 does overall pretty damn good. Like, but this is only increasing really the fidelity with a slight boost on the CPU. So it just depends on value at that point. $700 without the disk drive and without a stand. If you add everything in there, you're looking at with like $810. Value wise, I would say it doesn't deliver maybe what you would want for the price, or that it's like kind of lower in value of what you would want to spend for something in 2024 performance wise, right? So that's where I think that comes in because, like, I think the Xbox Series X is the best console this generation. I think PS5 is probably the second best console this generation. Then you could go with the Series S as far as like value and performance and all that kind of stuff, right? Um, and then PS5 Pro, I'd probably put below all of that. Like if you were to ask me today what I would find better value in buying a Series S or PS5 Pro, I'd find better value in buying a Series S.
I
Because
mean, yeah.
really, like they're gonna run the games about the same. It's just about fidelity at that point, you know, um, resolution and fidelity. I'm not like I like great graphics, but I'm not like a fidelity snob to where I need to spend like 1,000 more dollars on a something or $500 more on something or whatever just to get like better reflections. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, no,
that
I
that
mean, I get it.
that doesn't do it for me. Like for me, I just want the games to run really good and look really good. And I think the Series X and the PS5 do that for the most part. Again, optimization from the developers has been the biggest problem overall. I think this generation more than anything. Um, really putting some of the priorities with some of the aspects of the development in some of the wrong places at times because I think some of these games that aren't hitting those frame rates could hit 60 if they really wanted to, you know? There's been games like these before that have, so overall, I mean, Valhalla was massive. Like Assassin's Creed Valhalla was massive and it looked great. Fucking ran flawlessly at 60 frames at launch on these consoles, right? So when these games come out and they're big, and they have all this stuff. And it's like, well, we can't do 60. I was like, well, maybe you got to work on some of the optimization or something to figure that out. Um, PS5 Pro isn't going to horsepower past that because every problem that all these games that have had those issues with has been CPU wise. So fidelity wise, I'm good. Again, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is.
It's a value thing, right? It's in the eye of the
It's
beholder.
always in the eye of the beholder. People hate that shit, but it's
Yes.
true. It really is true. Again, there's no other way to put it. If you're going to find something that you like about it, if it's going to give
Yeah.
enough upgrade to you, then I can't argue with you. Like, again, there's no arguing that point. Like, it's always going to be that way. Some people will find value, some people won't. Some people just want the bragging rights. That's why they buy it. Like, there's all different reasons why you can justify it. But yeah, whatever. Like Nate Dogg said, when in doubt, give it a 7. You're right, Nate Dogg. That's what IGN does. When in doubt, give it a 7, man. That's what they do. It causes more. Their 7s cause more clicks on their articles than anything else. Legit, like that. They know that. Like they could give something a 3, and they still won't get as much clicks as giving it a 7 because you get everybody to click on it when you give it a 7 just to see.
Yeah, because it's like not good enough.
It's not committal,
right? Yeah, exactly. But then we're like, to everybody else, why? 7's a good game. Look at our scale. It says it's a good game.
I even said in the article it's good. Yeah, after you list all these problems with like, did you don't like yeah, that's how
you can look at 2 of their reviews, right? And if you actually read them, like 1 7 will sound like the best game ever made,
correct,
and then another 7 will sound like the worst game
ever made,
right? But it's both are 7s,
Right, exactly. No, that's the way it is. Oates says they know the tide is changing, so now they will start pandering a little bit more to Xbox. My theory, Oates, and again, speculation theories on why we're starting to see some different articles from places about Xbox is because of the change that they are putting games elsewhere. that they are now considered in the minds of a lot of people, including journalists, more of a third-party publisher, even though they still have first-party stuff, even though we still have exclusives on Xbox. The fact that they made that change and they're not competing one-for-one with Sony anymore, the journalists flipped a little bit because now Xbox is safe. Right? They're not a direct threat to their favorite platform anymore, according to their brains. Again, now we could argue whether or not, again, Xbox, what they're trying to do is take the whole damn pie, right? We've talked about the potential for their long-term strategy plans to be kind of the gateway to all the ecosystems in video gaming through the Azure cloud. But right now, to a lot of people, they're not a threat to their favorite PlayStation anymore. And so they're backing off a little bit and saying, okay, you guys are just kind of third-party publisher. Oh, you guys are going to give us some games over here on PlayStation, right? Oh, you're going to give us Indiana Jones. You announced that, and you're going to give that to us in the spring? Okay. And I think that's why you see a little bit less of the dynamic of, oh, we've got to take them down a notch every time we write about them because they're in direct competition with our favorite PlayStation. So that's just my theory. Again, could be completely wrong, but that's how I read it right now. Anyways, well, we covered the PlayStation 5 Pro topic out the gate. Love getting that one done. Since neither Mav nor I are going to be picking it up. Again, just high level view, just looking at it. Again, it's new hardware. It's always cool to me. I was hoping for more. I was hoping to see more. Again, there has been some things that really impressed me. Some of the ray tracing looks really great. But again, you're not getting a lock 60 plus ray tracing. So then I honestly look at how I like the game now that I have a PC that can do it. And again, I have AMD, so I don't have the best ray tracing. I don't have NVIDIA. So I get that. But what I'm saying is, even if I had NVIDIA and I could do the best ray tracing, if I couldn't get 60 frames on a game like Cyberpunk, I would try it just to look at it for a bit. But then I'd go back to the 60 frames for the main portion of my gameplay.
Yeah, because you're actually playing the
game.
Right.
Exactly. Now, if we get to the point where everything can be ray traced and the performance does not take a hit like it does right now, well, fuck yeah, I'm all for it, man. Of course, ray tracing looks freaking awesome when it's implemented correct. There are certain games, again, I've been seeing the Alan Wake 2 stuff for the PlayStation 5 Pro. Looks fantastic side by side without the ray tracing versus the ray tracing. Does it add something? Of course it does. To me, is it worth the performance hit? Hell no. Of course not. Yeah. So, but, I just think someday we'll get to that point, but right now we're not. And so it's fine. It's pretty, but I'm not going to take that hit. So it would be unnecessary to me. It just wouldn't be used. So
we got a super chat from Brandon Martin. Shout out to Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
$5 says companies need to focus on optimization. The hardest game that I worked on to optimize was Warhammer Darktide.
Nice.
And he's also worked on Call of Duty and some other games too. So like,
Brandon, appreciate that insight. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about. That's something we've talked about a lot, right? Obviously in the pipeline and the time and resources. What happened, right? Not that games came out perfect back in the day, but a lot of games back in the day did come out optimized as far as performance goes, right? So even when we started getting patches originally, they still, I think personally, did a pretty damn good job of optimizing games. And that was when hardware was all different. That's when they were doing it for, like, if they made a game that was going to Nintendo and to PlayStation and to Xbox, like, you had 3 different sets of tech that you had to work on. Now they have pretty much, I mean, again, with PlayStation and Xbox specifically, they're almost the same as PC now, right? That's all we ever heard, was that it's all pretty similar now, right? In architecture. So why all of a sudden can't we get more optimization? Like, what's going on? But again, that goes to the whole discussion that AAA industry is having right now. So we'll see. Hopefully AI will help out with some of it, or hopefully they fix some of this shit. All right, Mav. Where should we go next here? Let's see. I don't know what I want to really get. Hey, we got good news about Gears of War today. Let's talk about this real quick, Mav. This came out today. Yeah. This was freaking, I mean, everybody's going to go, but of course. Yeah, but there's really... Listen, it's not always but of course anymore. Like, you just don't know until
not anymore, yeah.
Not anymore, right? So I'm like, okay. But this came out today. So obviously 18th anniversary was today. Shout out to Gears of War. Shout out to shout out to one of my favorite franchises of all time, the Gears of War, but turning 18 today. Crazy, man. Crazy. The Gears of War was 18 years, although it feels even longer now for me. But so they put out a tweet today. The Gears of War official account said, "We are so back. On today's 18th anniversary of Gears of War, we're proud to share that Joe DiMaggio, or Joe, I knew I was going to do it.
DiMaggio?
I knew I was going to do it. I read it that way originally when I was scrolling, and I'm like, oh shit, that's not Joe DiMaggio. I knew I was going to do it here. John DiMaggio and Carlos Ferro are reprising their roles as the iconic voices of Marcus Phoenix and Dominic Santiago in Gears of War E-Day. Mav, the boys are back. The boys are back completely. Again, everybody can say, well, it's obvious. You could even tell. It's not always obvious anymore. So I was just really dope to see this, brother, that they have brought the two originals back and keep that continuity with E-Day, especially since they're going back in time this time around. It's going to be great to have the original voices for those two.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I saw that today too. The just the picture was cool,
Yep.
It's just good to know that they got it unlocked. I don't know how many people were questioning that. I think everybody just assumed, right? But just to make the announcement, right, is a cool thing to celebrate, and it just adds a little bit to the excitement and people's waiting for this game because they know it's going to have the true heart of the voices and everything there as well. So, props to them for that little announcement today. Little things like this can do a lot in the long run if you keep this kind of thing. Fan service is what I call this. This is fan service, right?
Right.
Hey, everybody, look, like, yeah, duh, we were gonna do this, but it's really freaking cool,
It is.
Get everybody excited.
It'd been better had they brought Joe DiMaggio back from the dead to do.
Well, yeah, if they had Joe DiMaggio come out and maybe he could bring a baseball bat and smash some locusts in the head a few times. Why don't you bring Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig out too?
I knew I was gonna fucking do it. You know what's funny is I just Googled it too, man. Other people have asked, is John DiMaggio, the voice actor, related to Joe DiMaggio? They're not. Two different families too. Yeah. So anyways, but a lot of people have asked it. It popped up in an autofill for me when I was asking the question. I'm like, Jesus. But yeah.
BT Maverick says Troy Baker is Phoenix and Nolan North is Dom.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, again, I don't fanboy over voice actors like a lot of people do. It's just never been my thing. Am I sick of Troy Baker all the damn just because he's on Keeley's all the damn time and they gave him that whole freaking podcast during the Keeley's in the middle of an award? So yeah, I get sick of Troy Baker. But again, when I saw him, what he did with Indiana Jones and how close he got to Harrison Ford, I gotta give him credit for the effort he puts into becoming one of the best voice actors, and it's deserved. Again, because I was like, oh shit, they got Troy doing freaking. How is this gonna? He got close, Mav. He got real close to Harrison. So I got to say whatever. And Nolan North obviously is classic. So that'd be cool if they do it. We'll see.
Yeah.
Nam. Yes, I'm showing my age, right? Joe DiMaggio is well before my time, sir. Okay, Joe is long before my time. I ain't quite that old. Now that would be my dad, but anyways. Oates says, I want this game to be oozing with toxic masculinity. Absolutely. Dude, bro, shooters got to be back for E-Day, bro. This has got to be full-fledged. This has got to be Space Marine. Like what they did, this has got to be the 360 era Gears of War for E-Day. I'm all with you there, Oates. It's got to be, man. Let's do it. Let's see here. Yes, I already know Andre. You know what? Andre Doyle, stop reading my mind because this is what I was going to bring up next as another small topic here because it was N7 Day as well for anybody who did not know. Now, of course, BioWare just launched Dragon Age, the Veilguard, so we kind of figured they weren't going to show anything for Mass Effect. We got the teaser last year for N7 Day that got everybody hot and bothered for Mass Effect, but everybody's kind of figured they're going to be quiet today, and they were quiet. They put out an announcement telling everybody thank you to the fans. They've got some cross promotions. I'll save it. But they did do some cross promotions, right? So Dragon Age Veilguard, you can go in right now and get some special armor. And they did another cool cross promotion, which I'll talk about next here. But I'll save it for the topic itself. But what we did get, Mav, is confirmation that Mass Effect TV series is officially in development at Amazon.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Amazon's on a pretty good run. Some of us would question the Lord of the Rings series as not great at all. There's some people that love it, obviously. But obviously Fallout, most people, I mean, it won freaking so many awards. It was record show. We all, a lot of people just signed up for Fallout and playing Fallout now because of the series. So Amazon's got a pretty good damn track record. Let's put it that way with TV shows. Mass Effect, again, I'm not going to hold my breath. I got to wait and see all the time now because I don't know who's going to be show running it. Let me see if this is according to Insider Gaming. This is from Sam Sepiol over at Insider Gaming. Shout out to Insider Gaming. According to a report by Variety, the Mass Effect franchise is receiving a TV adaptation at Amazon MGM Studios. Oh, that's right. I did read this. This is where I scratched my head. Daniel
Fast
Casey.
Furious 9, I think.
Yes, yeah. Daniel Casey from F9, the Fast Saga, will write and executive produce the series. Kareem Zurich, Ari Arad, and Michael Gamble from EA will join as executive producers. At the moment, the plot details have not been revealed. All right.
I saw some people running with the F9 thing, Fast and Furious 9 is like, well, Fast and Furious. He did it. So from this perspective, I'll say that like when he was hired to do F9, right? Yeah. Fast 9. He's hired to make a specific kind of movie that the franchise has already been set. You know what I mean? In stone like what it is. You're not going to go and reinvent the wheel on that. You're going to do more and more and more because that's what people always expect from those movies. So I wouldn't just take that credit that he has as like this is the kind of stuff that he makes necessarily. But I would need to know more about his.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on, I gotta look this up. Let me see. So, let's go Wikipedia here.
So there's a lot of different directors that have done different things for different movies, and that's not necessarily who they are. Right. Okay. I don't necessarily expect a explosive action chaos like crazy.
He's pretty damn inexperienced, bro. So early stuff, 2003, The Passage, Secrets of Fenville, 2006, The Death of Michael Smith, 2008, Dead Man's Hour, 2016, he was uncredited, a part of the writing team for 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was fantastic, by the way. But he was uncredited for that, so he wasn't big. Yeah. He did 2018's film Kin, which is a science fiction film. So Kin is a 2018 science fiction action film directed by Jonathan and Josh Baker, written by Daniel Casey, based on Baker's 2014 short film Bagman. The film stars Jack Rayner, Zoe Kravitz, Carrie Coon, Dennis Quaid, James Franco, and Miles Truitt in his acting debut. Interesting. The story follows a young boy who finds a strange weapon at the time his newly paroled brother returns. The film was released in the United States on August 31st, 2018 by Lionsgate and was met with both critical and commercial failure.
Okay.
but it's sci-fi. Okay, so at least he's done some sci-fi writing.
The Passage, which is or did you say Passengers or the
Passage? No, the Passage in 2003.
Okay, I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what Secrets. He did a segment on the Secrets of Fenville. I have no idea what that is. But again,
this is a big opportunity for this guy.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for sure. So, again, not going to say a thing, not going to judge it, don't know any better. I just scratched my head when I saw the Fast Saga. I was like, okay, again, Fast and the Furious. Used to love the Fast and the Furious until it turned into what it is now. But whatever, that's just me. So anyways, but we'll find out. I still think it's cool though, Mav, that they're going to try it. And I'm always willing to give it a shot. And obviously Mass Effect being one of my favorite trilogies of all time as well. Like, let's fucking go. I mean, again, you pulled this off. Mass Effect is, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if it's going to be an original story. I don't know. Again, they didn't say that they said that they did not say what was going to, what kind of story it was going to be. So are we going to follow the original trilogy, or is it going to be complete offshoot just in the universe of Mass Effect? That's what I guess I'm curious about. But obviously Mass Effect has a lot of appeal, a lot of ways you could go with it, written and unwritten lore. Cool. Do it, man. I try it. Let's see what happens, man. I just would think that you could have found somebody with a little bit more experience, but anyways.
What was his credit on Fast 9 again?
He was a writer, and let's see, he was Daniel Casey. Hold on for a second.
Casey. Okay.
Yeah,
Daniel
writer. Casey. Yeah, he was writer. He was writer on F9. So yeah,
cool.
So yeah. So I mean, it's probably a couple years away, at least. I would imagine. So
Ken got a better score on IMDb than F9.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we know F9 was a commercial success, so that franchise can't be stopped. They could put anything on the screen.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I mean,
it's it's sometimes like when the biggest project somebody's worked on that just gets attached to their name,
right?
You know what I mean? But it doesn't necessarily represent the kind of work that they would do if they had the opportunity to do like their own thing.
No, I completely. Again, when you're a writer, if you're hired to write a certain script, you're hired to write a certain script. And as a writer, you got to be, if you're going to make it, right? I mean, you can become very specialized, but more than likely, if you're going to make it in Hollywood, you got to be able to write everything, right? That's your best chance. So obviously, maybe he's just really good. Again, I'd never seen Ken. It looks interesting. So I'd have to see it to kind of judge his writing and his style as far as sci-fi goes. But the fact that he did do a sci-fi flick, again, gives me a little bit more confidence. Like, okay, at least you've done something in that genre before.
There's also a TV series he did called Drone. It's in the near future, where drone technology is advanced and a new weapon has been unleashed. A humanoid drone stronger and faster than any soldier. So that was a TV series. It didn't last very long, but it has like a 7.3 on IMDb. Which is pretty solid.
That's pretty solid. Hey, all right, cool. And I'm sure, Mav, what's your thoughts timing wise? You think they're going to try to launch this alongside the game, right? So we're probably talking 2-3 years.
I would probably think so.
Yeah.
It seems like when these things get announced, they're pretty far off, right? So there's lots of time to get it right. But this one is going to be one that is going to be watched with a lot of scrutiny.
Correct.
Right. So it's got to deliver, like more so than like even like people know that Todd Howard was attached to the Fallout franchise, so people had some faith in it. This one is going to be like, who's doing this? It'll be kind of more like Halo, where like people are like, are you going to treat this fact and really scrutinizing every aspect of it along the way? And then, but we'll have to see how it delivers, man. I hope they stay kind of true to the universe and have great. Ultimately, the most important thing with Mass Effect for me is you have to have amazing characters.
Yes,
that's the heart and soul of Mass Effect.
Yes,
the characters. When people think about Mass Effect, even more so than the space adventures you're going on and all the other stuff you're doing, people are thinking about their interactions with the characters. And we all have our favorite characters from the Mass Effect universe. So they have to nail the characters. All of them.
Agreed.
Agreed. You got to have like great co-stars and the cast of like whatever the crew is. They each have to have good stories and interesting people, right?
Nope, I agree wholeheartedly. Berg, I see you jumping in. What's going on, Berg? Blue Arrow, I see you jumping in too. Ghost Fixture, what's going on? Jesse P, I see you jumping in here. Brett Bingham, I said hi to you earlier, sir. Maybe you were just around and about. Psychonauts, I see you, brother. Crippling Debt, what's going on? He says, every time I hear BioWare, I'm saddened. Shout out to Anthem, man. It's a shame they were too busy fixing launch bugs to get content rolling. That game's gameplay is top-notch. So damn good. You won't find a dissenting voice here, sir. Anthem had boatloads of potential, bro. Boatloads of potential. EA completely effed themselves with that one. That's on EA's higher ups. So 1000%. Oh, map. So the game right now that's just kind of really dominating as it always does, but on a different level, I think this year is Call of Duty, right? Black Ops 6.
Yep.
Season 1 drops on the 14th. But Treyarch came out today and announced that Stakeout. First of all, a couple days ago, they had dropped a preview video of a couple of the new maps that are coming, and they look absolutely incredible. Again, we'll see how they play, but they look absolutely incredible. Some of those new maps. But they came out today and said, point of view when you find out Stakeout 24/7 drops tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So tomorrow, get Stakeout 24/7. Dope as hell. And then they followed up that post, Mav, with what if we also added a 10v10 to be featured tomorrow? Sound good? Also keep Nuketown 24/7? Let's do it. Bro. And then, if that wasn't enough, Treyarch came out with the list coming to Season 1. And this was, of course, on top of Call of Duty themselves, the Call of Duty page dropping they dropped the graphic containing all the stuff that's being added. Warzone. It's just a shit ton of shit, man. Like whatever you playing in Call of Duty is getting something. Like that's how, like whatever you're enjoying. If it's Warzone, great. We got stuff for you over there. If it's a classic multiplayer, we got stuff over you over here. If it's zombies, cool. We got you covered with that too. So
weapons, we got new kill streaks,
everything.
We got new. You want it? It's new. Everything new.
Everything new. So they dropped a list map, 5 multiplayer maps plus Nuketown Holiday. That's right. That we're getting the Christmas Nuketown, which looks. I get it. Even if we've seen the shit before, Mav, every time Call of Duty drops something like this, it's just cool as hell, man. They got snowmen. They got the snow everywhere. Got the Christmas lights up on the houses in Nuketown. Bro, it just gets you in the. This is what. That's the shit, that's nostalgic shit that brings me back to the 360 days. Because every Christmas, Mav, we were the older ones at the time. We'd already been playing Call of Duty. What were we waiting for? All the freaking newbie kids on Christmas Day jumping in, and you know it was going to be a good time, and your kill KD ratio was going to go through the roof, right? That's
and the double XP usually.
Yes, the double XP. It's a holiday game, bro. Call of Duty is a holiday game, right? Every year, that's what we got. So that came out. 7 new weapons, ransack and prop hunt modes. God, prop hunt's fun as shit too sometimes, bro. Goddamn. Black Ops 6 rank play, directed mode in zombies, hand cannon score streak, shadow and shrapnel radar perks, high roller wildcard, Area 99 and Black Ops 6 weapons in Warzone, Season 1 Battle Pass and Black Cell, brand new Zombies map mid-season, plus more. How excited are you that Black Ops 6 is not only came out in the way that it did, but right out the gate, 2 weeks after launch, they, like you said, they are flush with content for every part of it. There's no delays. There's no, oh shit, we're going to be a little short this time around. It's like, here you go, Christmas, here you go, presents for everybody. Like with Treyarch, just top of their game right now, right?
The more they keep adding to this, like it's going to keep rising in the ranks. Like how they keep nailing everything that they're doing. Obviously, we got to try out the new content and see how it all how it all goes, right? But if they keep this pipeline going and throughout all the seasons, like usually season 1 is pretty much the one that has like the least amount of stuff in games, right? And then maybe season 2 and then season 3 they kind of hit their things going with these games that have like battle passes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're running from the like they if this was a sprint, right? If this was like they took off flawlessly, right? And when they're about to hit their first hurdle or first whatever checkpoint, they're like blazing even faster. Like they have a lot of momentum. This Call of Duty has a lot of momentum, and they don't plan on letting it stop. This is going to keep growing, and I think it's going to be a massive game for a very long time.
It is.
It's going to be awesome.
And I hope they can take next year off and just expand this thing out and just keep rolling with this one. I hope we don't force another Call of Duty down our throats. Again, more than likely it will happen, but God, I hope not. Mav, one of the new weapons is a fucking power drill as a melee weapon. You're gonna power drill freaking people, bro. Are you kidding me right now? Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so freaking crazy, bro. Anyways, so yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 for all of you who are playing the hell out of it like we have been. Some of you are just playing it even more than we have, but my god, man, look forward to this. It's going to be fun as hell, man. All new stuff coming, and it's just going to keep rolling. So yeah, prop hunt Poison Maniac. I actually like prop hunt. We had some good prop hunt matches, Mav. We did. There was some good shit, man. I really like prop hunt sometimes. Let's see, what else should we get into here, Mav? Well, let's talk about the main topic. We've been going now for almost about an hour and a half, so let's get in the main topic here. Let's take a look at 2025 real quick. And again, the list that I'm going to have was put together by Rhino the Bouncer. Some of you'll know him as he's a PlayStation dude. Some people consider him a troll, but he puts out just straight facts a lot of the time, right? Just as far as games go, what games are. So it's not going to include everything here. Obviously, I'm going to have to probably... No, he does actually have the Xbox stuff in here too. So we're good there. So this is not going to be everything. But again, what Mav and I want to do here is just take a look into 2025, a peek into 2025 to see if we are peaking next year in this golden age, or at least this generation golden age. Because we've been on a streak now for the past 2 years. Last year and this year have been absolutely incredible. Now, again, always going to be in the eye of the beholder. There are people out here, and again, I can't argue, it's personal taste, who claim that we're in a rut, that gaming is not all that it could be right now, that it has not been a great year for games this year. A lot of people are saying that this year is not anywhere as close to last year. For me, this year, actually in totality and the way that we're going to finish this year will rise above last year. It's already above last year for me, even though we don't have like those gigantic headliners like we did last year. For me, Mav, this year definitely rises above it and is the better year. So we got two kind of magical years for me. But looking at 2025, and this is, again, this list is going to be partial. I'm sure some people in the chat will throw some stuff out as well. You throw Grand Theft Auto 6 in here, this is going to be one for the ages, Mav. First of all, Mav, are you still on board that this year is better than last year for you personally? Even if you count, let's say that you count Stalker 2 and Indiana Jones, and you just assume both of those are going to hit for you. Do you think this year's better than last year for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, overall.
Yes.
Right.
Overall.
Like last year had Starfield. Right. Mm-hmm. So
correct.
It's obviously. Yeah. It's like that one adds a lot of weight.
Right.
Overall. Right. Last year had a lot of other great games too. Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, fuck. Right. That's just another kind of dream game for me as well. But this year, just the variety of different genres that I'm really into that got great games took it above just overall for me over 2023.
Yep.
But we still have stuff to come. It doesn't hurt that we got a Call of Duty like this either, right? No. As people can discount it for like counting towards a great year, but like for me, when you get a game that captures the spirit like this Call of Duty has of gamers, and just like everybody gets excited and stuff, and this Call of Duty seemed to bring a lot of people together and stuff in a weird way. I don't know, like like a lot of people that are like sick of gaming, sick of this, sick of that, whatever, all this stuff, it's like, hey, let's just all shut up and play COD. And I saw a lot of people just like stop bitching about all this other stuff and just like, hey, I'm actually having a great time with the game. Why not? It's like in Game Pass and stuff, and like, I like to kind of, when games kind of do that and you have something to constantly kind of look forward to. There was no time this year that I didn't have awesome stuff for me personally to look forward to.
Right.
That was coming fairly soon. Right.
Yep.
So overall, yeah, I would say 2024.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, and obviously, again, Call of Duty, like you said, just being one of the better Call of Duties in a while, just adds spice to it, just adds flavor to it. It really does elevate in a lot of ways when stuff like that happens. Like it's just an addition to already what's been a fantastic year. So can't disagree with you there at all. So let's talk about 2025, man. Now, again, there's going to be plenty of games that aren't here that again, Mav, feel free to call out some, chat, let us know which ones you're looking forward to if I don't name them off here. But just think about this list. And there's a couple asterisks here too, as well, because we did get some news from Take-Two today as well. But let's just roll with this list real quick. Death Stranding 2. Okay. And that could be coming to Xbox. We don't know. There's a possibility now. Grand Theft Auto 6. Again, for anybody who doesn't know, Take-Two's announcements today, their investor call today, they doubled down, Strauss doubled down that it is going to be fall of next year. I mean, again, anything could change. We've seen this before. They've done it before where they've delayed it after being very sure. But the more times they double down on this leading up, like this is investor calls. This is big money. Strauss said, yeah, we're not going to put this out until it's ready, but fall next year, that's a lot more time than they originally planned. So Grand Theft Auto 6, we're going to roll and assume next year. Judas. Now this is back-to-back 2K games here. They came out today and said Judas is to be announced. So this is not confirmed for 2025. Right. And I would bet this is the one that rolls into 2026. Yeah. Ken Levine is not known for being punctual with his games. Yeah. Okay? Ken Levine is the ultimate creative. And you don't rush the man, and you don't tell him, oh, you got a deadline, because he ain't going to hit it. So now that they said to be announced, I would say 2026 on Judas. So, again, asterisk next to that one. Monster Hunter Wilds. If you didn't play the beta, got to tell you, this is going to be the game. This is going to be the early game in 2025. Steel's already talking about the whole channel is going to be streaming Monster Hunter Wilds. He's in. He's replaying Monster Hunter World right now. Monster Hunter Wilds is looking crazy good. Borderlands 4. Ding, 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 ding. Don't care what anybody thinks. Ding, I'm all in. Borderlands 4. Mafia, the Old Country remake. Of course. Of course that's here. Of course, that would be 2025. The one that everybody...
This isn't a remake. This is the...
Oh, yeah, this is the new... Is this a new one?
This is a new one. Yeah, it takes place.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No. I remember,
yeah.
But I kept thinking that the remake was going to be out before. So we got the remake still coming too, as well.
For Mafia?
Oh no, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of Max Payne.
Yeah, like I think we already got the remaster.
Yeah, we got the remake of the first original Mafia. Yeah. So again, sorry, I was thinking of Max Payne.
I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah, no. This is the new. Yeah, but this is the new Mafia, and it looks dope as fuck, right? Because we're going back to Italy in this one, right? We're going back to the old school Mafia again. I'm all in. The one that everybody keeps forgetting about, Mav, Marvel 1945: Rise of Hydra. Looks, again, non-comic book fan guy here, non-superhero guy. Don't care about Black Panther. Don't care about Captain America at all. I'm all in day one on this game, just from the writing.
It looks like it's going to be like one of these like really story-based kind of interactive games like that. And having that kind of game around a Marvel universe with like more like grounded takes on the characters based on the like traditional comics and stuff looks pretty fucking awesome to me. I mean, they're going old school with this thing.
Yes, absolutely. And I just can't wait. I can't believe I'm saying that right now, but I said it when I saw that. I can't wait.
we got a request from Thatch.
Go ahead, Thatch. What
says, yo, Mav, let's go with the choo choo. Haha, please. I gifted two memberships in there.
Excuse me.
Your cough's coming back.
No, I got a dry spot because I drank wrong. Anyways, it's not 100%, but you gifted and then that's right, because he did the member for 10 months too. So yeah, attention, ladies and gentlemen, we are now at Mach 4.0. So please go ahead and thank the one and only Mav. Fun speculation for dropping off a bag of coal himself. Get us to that Mach 4.0. The furnace is burning hot up here. He's trying to keep his own channel ad-free in 2024, rolling into 2025. Hashtag no beans. Thanks to the one and only Mav for getting on the court with the Z5, lay up that little finger roll. Gotta love Mav. Choo choo, motherfuckers. Go ahead, Mav. Play that shit. Choo choo. Ha 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 ha.
There you go with that.
Thanks, Thatch. Appreciate that. Thanks, Mav. So, yeah, Marvel 1945 Rise of Hydra next year. Dynasty Warriors Origins next year for obviously all you Musu fans like me. We're getting a new Dynasty Warriors. I'm not sold on the whole new, how do I want to say it? Unknown character. Like you as the character. Like, I'm not sold on that because it's always been around the heroes of that time. But it's a Musu fighter. It looks like the battles have gotten even crazier. So Dynasty Warriors Origins. Then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And again, these are going to be games. We got to remember next year we are also getting a Switch 2 launch on top of it. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Again, I was hoping for more when I saw it, but I am a Metroid Prime fan. Out of all the things that Nintendo does make, I'm a Metroid Prime fan. It looked like Halo, Mav, right? But it looked cool.
Yeah, it looked like Halo 4, but not as good.
Right. But it's still going to be massive.
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. It was weird with like the way that they were moving the character in the reticle and stuff. I don't know if it's just because like it's on a handheld,
Probably.
and that's like I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure it's going to be up for Game of the Year nominations.
Of course it is.
That's all I will say.
It's not going out on a limb, man. That's not going out on a limb. So yeah, but that's gonna be massive. Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, looking great. Souls fans. Again, this is awesome. Xbox marketing. Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers is looking really great.
That's also Game Pass Day 1.
Game Pass Day 1. Cool. Doom: The Dark Ages, Mav. Again, what can I say? You're gonna give me Doom with what looked like less platforming, but I get to ride dragons. I get to be in a medieval killing demons in castles with a chainsaw shield. A Morning Star. Yes, give me Doom Dark Ages all damn day.
I can just imagine the music while you're going around just slaughtering stuff with the fire and the castles and shit, and it's gonna be
it's gonna be so cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man.
And you know how good it's gonna look? Do you know how good it's gonna look? You know how beautiful this game's gonna be?
How smooth it's gonna be and how great it's gonna play. Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't wait for Doom Dark Ages. Oh, Fable.
That's Day 1 also.
Fable.
Yep.
I mean, Fable. Could Grand Theft Auto 6 screw up some of Xbox lineup next year? Because Booty already said that they're very well aware of Grand Theft Auto 6 and they're going to have to move around it. Yeah, it could, but we're just going to assume here. So we're going to get Doom: The Dark Ages. We're going to get Fable on the Xbox side. Fable being obviously gigantic.
Fable's my most anticipated because Fable's one of my favorite franchises.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons I loved Xbox and continued to fall in love with Xbox, like those Fable games were great for me, especially Fable 2. Like I loved the first one. Fable 2 was like amazing. Fable 3 was great too, but like it's a franchise that disappeared for a very long time. I was super upset and devastated when Lionhead got shut down, and I knew that like is this the death of Fable? Like what's going on? Is like that was like the worst times like for me, like just knowing the pipeline of what's to come and stuff, that those things were happening. Now we're having Fable come back, and it's made by Playground, and what we saw
completely new,
insane. It's gonna be different for sure, right? But what we saw glimpses of that last trailer with the town and different aspects there, I can see the heart and soul shining through.
Yes,
in certain aspects there of this game. So, man, it's going to be interesting and crazy to play it. Will it be able to capture the magic again from the new developer, new team? I don't know, but
I got faith.
I'm hoping so.
It looks great. It looks great, and it's probably one of my most anticipated next year as well. Even though I'm not. I played all the Fables. Did I beat think I beat all the Fables as well on 360, but I just want to see this come back because, of course, it just is such a great setting. And if they could nail the comedy and
Yeah.
not take away even some of the, again, the adolescent humor, you got to keep some of that in there. I know some people say you got to get rid of it because it doesn't play well nowadays. I still think you got to have some of it, but if they nail it, and I have all the faith in Playground that they're going to, plus they went out and got some of the original Lionshead team to come back, especially some of the writers, to make sure that they did get that atmosphere down. But they are changing it and making it their own game. And it's looking freaking incredible right now, except for obviously 3-bit caused it to be delayed this whole time. So you don't shout out the 3-bit for screwing it all up. But they're going to fix all 3-bit's problems that he put into the game, and it's going to come out fantastic. We already know Playground is going to come out with a great game. So I'm looking forward to Fable as well. Huge release next year. Dying Light the Beast, that standalone new Dying Light game that we got surprised with, that's coming out next year.
Like, where the hell did that come from? You know?
Right. I love Dying Light. Of course, then another Xbox game, Mav, the one that should have been out this year, but they decided to delay it. But Avowed, that was my most anticipated game this year. Avowed is coming next year, Mav, in February, along with every other game next year is coming in February. But Avowed is going to be there, and I'm going to somehow have to find a way to slot it in amongst all the other ones, including Monster Hunter Wilds, and play it. And I will, because, again, I love Obsidian. But Avowed is going to be a great start to Xbox's lineup next year, Mav. It's going to be a massive start to it. I can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Crimson Desert. This game looks better and better and better. For anybody who doesn't remember, this is the Pearl Abyss. They are not calling it a RPG. They're calling it an action adventure game. Whatever you want to call it. Fascinating. This is, my God, beautiful. This is one of those games that sometimes when you look at it, you say, is this way it's going to really look? Well, enough games have come out now from the East that kind of prove that they know what they're doing over there and that their shit is not bullshit. Crimson Desert, high on my list next year for games to play. High on my list. It has been for a very long time, Mav. Crimson Desert looking amazing, bro.
Yeah, it looks great. It's like single player as from the studio that's traditionally made the MMO and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this RPG, right? Pretty much.
They're saying it's not an RPG. That is an action adventure game. Okay. They are not calling it an RPG.
Right. That's fine. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It looks like an RPG to me when I see it. You know, that's why I say that. But anyway.
I think it's because of the boss battles, the way they're kind of set up.
Right.
They're Souls, but they're not Souls. They are action RPG, but I think that's why they're going off of that. But I don't care what you want to call it. It looks freaking amazing, bro. The fact that you can ride horses off cliffs and then glide down, like the fact that we're going to be able to ride dragons, like, yeah, I'm all in, man. Been in for a long time. Crimson Desert next year. Civ 7 next year, Mav. So we just got Aura. So why not another big 4X grand strategy game? Like, in fact, the grandfather of all 4X grand strategy games. Let's go with Civ 7. And that team's got a lot to make up because Civ 6 didn't hit well with everybody. It looks gorgeous from what I've seen so far, but that's just dropping next year too. I think that's in February as well, Matt.
Yep. Civ 7 is going to be awesome. Yep. I didn't own this on Xbox, Civ 6. Until recently, because they had it on sale for like $3.99 or some shit like that. So I went ahead and got it. Just because I know, hey, at some point I'm gonna want to go back and revisit this. So
I Steam for $2.99, so I can play it. Yeah.
The last one I got into from a Civ game was Civ 4, and this one I'm really looking forward to because what they've shown so far has been pretty damn amazing.
Yep. So hopefully they come back and have a great launch. That's been the problem with the last couple of Civs is they haven't launched well. Civ 6 they never really caught up with, unfortunately. But again, don't count this team out. I think they could pull it off, and it's going to be big for all of us Grand Strategy 4X fans, for sure. Another Game Pass day and date game, Mav, one that took everybody by surprise a couple of shows ago, but is now on everybody's list. That likes RPGs, and that, of course, is Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, the French team, the former Ubisoft devs who are somehow making a JRPG style game, but with a lot of European influence that just looks
awesome.
incredible.
Which
Like
is it was
yeah,
interesting because a lot of JRPGs have like a lot of European influence
they
in them,
do in a
right?
lot of ways. Sure, yes.
Like, I mean, even metaphor.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, you see that kinda throughout a lot of these games.
Yeah.
A lot of them take on that medieval kind of fantasy
Yeah, but this is
approach
like
and stuff.
different even from that. This is a really like European mythology, like with the whole
Mhm.
idea that there's this whatever she is that every year changes the number and everybody from that age dies. Like it's just cool as hell, man. It's just a
Right.
cool concept. But then you throw in the JRPG turn-based aspects, but then you can parry and dodge in real time, which gives you extra attacks, which helps. They're bringing it, Mav. They're bringing it.
The coolest thing about this game
Yeah.
is, for me, is this is like what you get when you have really talented developers
Yeah.
leave a publisher or studio that they worked for,
Mm-hmm.
start their own studio, and make their dream game and get picked up with funding on deals like with something like Game Pass or something like
Correct.
that to allow them to fully fulfill their vision. You
Yep.
get something that looks like this and it's taken off. A lot of people are really excited for it.
A lot of people are excited for this game. That is going to be a massive launch next year, even though it's coming from a small studio.
Mhm.
Guaranteed that's going to get some talk early, depending on when it launches. Another Souls game, although they claim it's not Souls, but it's Souls through and through. The first Berserker Kazan, which I again I wish I loved these types of games so
Mhm.
much because I love everything about them. This art style map for this game is so stunning. Like it is so eye popping, catching, like different in that comic book rough style where it's blacks and grays and whites, but then you got the standout red, the blood. The first Berserker Kazan, and again, those games are highly dependent upon control. The controls got to be right. The performance has got to be right. You can't have, you can't have frame drops in battles. You can't have any of that shit. Otherwise, it screws everything up with the timing. It is highly technical, but my God, that game is going to be a real gift for the Souls fans out there. I think so. Steele's already freaking excited for that one too, and I know you
Yeah.
thought you were going to try this too as well.
Yeah, I did it. It was like the last time we saw it
Mhm.
at a showcase. I forget which. There was more like gameplay and stuff.
Mm.
And well, I actually just saw the game running,
Yeah,
right? Then
yeah,
I was like a little bit more turned off on it,
right.
but the trailers make it look amazing. So we'll see. This will be one I'm gonna keep my eye on because I do love the art style,
Yes,
like you said.
it's crazy good. It's crazy. It's just so cool looking, man. Dune Awakening, the new MMO, the Dune
Mm,
MMO. Not going to be for everybody, obviously, but people who have played, we got a better look at it. I don't have time for MMOs anymore because there's so many games, but the people who have played it have said it does have something different from other MMOs. It does stand out from other MMOs the way that they've played it, and that it could be something that does stick around. Again, it's a crapshoot with MMOs when you drop them. Some of them can stick around for a long time. Some of them disappear really fast. Some of them you just don't ever hear about, but they're still out there being played all the damn time. But Dune, obviously, it's at the right time, Mav, after the movies took off in popularity. Like, if you're going to do it, now's the time to do it. And that's obviously what they're capitalizing on. But it does look cool. If I had time to do it, I would spend some time and invest in it. The base building looks really dope. Cooperative survival, where you can build bases and kind of do that stuff together. Shipbuilding looks really cool as well. But Dune Awakening is next year. It's going to appeal
yeah.
to some people next year. So, another franchise that a lot of people love, indie franchise, Little Nightmares, is getting the third edition next year as well. Little Nightmares 3. Again, from the indie side of the scene, I played the first Little Nightmares, did not play the second Little Nightmares. I liked the first Little Nightmares. Wasn't scary to the point where I couldn't play it. It had its moments, even though it's
Yeah.
the perspective and stuff, but it does get creepy, man. The characters are creepy in that, but it was more, I don't know. It just, the stop motion and that kind of stuff kind of takes away a little bit of the scariness. So I was cool with it, but I did not play number 2. Did you play number 2 by chance?
No, I
Okay.
actually didn't play. This is a franchise I have missed.
Okay, you haven't touched it at
yet.
all.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But yeah, Little Nightmares 3 is going to be a nice indie game next year. Arc Raiders, Mav, one we've been waiting on. Arc Raiders is next year. Can't wait to see more of this game.
Yeah.
Need to see more of this game, but Arc Raiders, yes, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
if it
free to
says
play.
like the finals launched and it
Yes.
was gameplay was great, it was super
Great.
fun and all this
Yes.
stuff. So if they're capable of doing that, then I expect great things from our creators.
Yep, absolutely. Another survival game, MMO style, Terminator Survivors got pushed to next year. That was supposed to come out this year. In early access, I think it was supposed to be early access this year. They actually pushed it, but Terminator Survivors next year. Not sold on this one at all, but obviously anything with Terminator attached to it, it's got a shot just because there's a lot of people who love that universe. This one is a little different because you've got one Terminator that's hunting you down the entire time. So it's going to be interesting how they pull this off. But Terminator Survivors next year, another fan favorite indie game that was really early in this generation, making some waves, and then they actually pulled the entire game. Well, Splitgate 2 is set to launch next year. Mav, you played a lot of Splitgate when it first came out, right?
Yeah.
You and the fam? Yeah.
Yeah, it was before Halo Infinite came out.
Halo meets Portal, right? That's
Yeah,
basically what it is.
pretty much. Yeah. It was a really interesting mechanics.
Yeah.
We had fun playing it for a while. I kind of got burned out on it, because there was not a whole lot of content there. It was just like maps and stuff. It was a fun game. Then the weird thing is they took it offline.
Right. Completely.
So anyway, we'll see what happens with 2.
Yeah, obviously they learn that they're going to take all the lessons they learn, hopefully, and all the positives, and just make it that much better, and obviously have more content this time around with Splitgate 2. This is supposed to be like their kind of like full release now, like hey, we learned everything we needed to learn from Splitgate 1. I think the server cost was the big issue for the first one, right? They wanted to put all their
had a lot of people show up.
And they want to put all their work into Splitgate 2, obviously making the best it could be. So they decided to take it down. A rare occurrence for a game that's successful where you just wrap it up and say, hey, done. We'll see you soon. We're coming back, but we'll see you soon. But anyways, they're going to come back next year. So Splitgate 2 has a chance because there's going to be a lot of fans that have been waiting for it. But again, that is a genre with a massive amount of different games in it, and we no guarantee that you're going to find the same success you did in the first one, but we'll see. Another Xbox game, Mav, I know one that is really high on your list as well, and in fact, we're supposed to be getting some word on this one in the next couple of weeks, and that, of course, is South of Midnight from Compulsion Games, Mav. I'm excited for it. It's not as high on my list. Now that I've seen some of the gameplay and stuff, looks very interesting to me. The story looks really dope to me. I'm definitely going to play it. I liked We Happy Few in the direction that Compulsion. I know that's, most people will tell you We Happy Few sucked and whatever else. I personally liked where they were going with it. Again, they didn't have the resources to complete it at the time. Small team. They bit off more they could chew. So yeah, was the perfect game? No, it wasn't. But I liked that style. I'm definitely interested in the stop motion in this game. I'm definitely interested in the characters. All that appeals to me. Just not high on my list. But I know for you, this was one of your most anticipated after the last showing too. So South of Midnight is going to be a big launch. And we're supposed to get word in the next couple of weeks. I would imagine, do you think, Matt, release date next couple of weeks? I mean, I know we got Avowed in February.
It's very possible. So this would be more likely I kind of assumed Doom was going to be the big summer game, so that maybe this falls somewhere between Avowed and Doom. Could it be?
Could it? I mean, it's
maybe
like
Doom would be like June or July or something.
Maybe. I mean, it could be an April game. I mean, it could be a January game. Technically, again, it's not going to be a massive game. This isn't like an RPG. Like it's going to be kind of a quick game. I imagine probably 10, 15 hours, maybe somewhere in that neighborhood. I imagine narrative.
No clue. Probably something like
that. Somewhere in that neighborhood, maybe. So you could technically slot it in wherever. And again, we do have to be aware that if Take-Two is doubling down on Grand Theft Auto 6, Booty's got to be thinking about this. And maybe they got to kind of, like we've talked about, games are ready, push them out. If they're not competing games, again, you don't want 5 within a month, right? You don't want 4 or 3 within a month. But if you've got a couple month breather and you got a smaller game like this, maybe you do slot it in there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we're going to see it maybe at the Game Awards.
Maybe. But we're supposed to have, maybe they're going to have another direct, and they're going to focus on South of Midnight. Maybe they do behind the scenes.
If Paris is there now, would they record that now for something that they're going to do in January? I guess so, but
or maybe I don't know. I don't know, man. But we're gonna see because Compulsion even said it today too. I think. Let me look at
Yeah,
that tweet.
yeah.
Didn't they put out something as well today saying, "Hey,
Yeah, there's like news coming soon or some coverage coming soon, I think is what they said.
is that what?" Yeah, it said more coverage coming soon. Compulsion. Let me look. Compulsion. I think it's under Compulsion still, isn't it? No.
Yeah. That was Compulsion Games. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I got it. Let's see. They said, oh, why was that? Was that post? Did I imagine something, or did they do it under something else? They actually did put out a post today. I could have swore they did.
Was it was South of Midnight? I saw the one with Paris, but I
Yeah.
didn't think it was from Paris. I
No,
don't
no,
remember
no,
it
no,
being.
no. There was another one where I saw that because they don't have a South. Hold on. Let me just do hashtag South of Midnight and see. Today's let's see, more to come next week.
Okay. With Paris did okay. So South of Midnight coverage
Yeah.
coming soon was from Paris's tweet.
Yeah, it says more to come next week. So next
Okay.
week we should be getting something. So, anyways, yeah, South of Midnight is going to be a lot of people are excited for this game. So it's going to be dope. And again, the story looks cool, characters look cool. I'm all in on that as far as that goes. So, yeah, I can't wait to see this one too. The Sinking City 2. A lot of fans of the Sinking City. Cool little game. I tried it out for a bit. Too much for me. I was like, okay, I'm getting kind of creeped out here. But Sinking City 2, a lot of people are waiting on it. It's finally coming out next year. Pokemon Legends Z to A. Big leaks. Pokemon's entire basically history and future were leaked. If anybody doesn't know, the Pokemon leaks have been going on for a couple weeks now. There's some wild stuff in there. There's some wild stuff. You think bear sex in Baldur's Gate 3 is something? Man, some of the history that they had written up for Pokemon, I don't know, man. Little weird. But anyways, Pokemon Legends Z to A, obviously any Pokemon game is going to be massive. I haven't heard of this one, Matt. Tell me if I'm just completely forgetting it. Ballad of Antara. What the hell is this?
I have no idea.
I've known every other game up to this point, but this one, I have no idea what the hell this is.
Maybe he's just digging for games at this point on his list.
We did see this one, Mav. We did see this one. This was the announcement trailer at one of the PlayStation showcases with the cool.
Oh, yeah.
The boy on the dude's shoulder was kind of like his brother or spirit riding around with him. And they had all that cool imagery with like the flowers and the space. And it was,
this is another Soulsy game.
Soulsy game. Well, yeah. Kind of, right. Yeah, in a way. But yeah, Ballad of Antara. I do remember this one now that I saw the screenshots. So Ballad of Antara, big Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is supposedly next year. We will see. This game has been delayed a ton. It's changed developers multiple times, but there is a huge fan base for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. And Bloodlines 2 has been a long time coming. I've almost picked up Bloodlines 1 a couple times on PC because damn cheap. It's over on GOG on sale all the damn time just to play through. I never played it. People admit that the game is janky, right? It's one of those games that overcame the jank and people just love the hell out of it. And every time I read about it, man, this is an RPG. It's a vampire RPG. And I look at it and I go, okay, yeah, this is 360 era AA shit. This is the stuff you and I used to like back in the day. I'm like, can I do it? But people say it's so freaking cool. I want to try it out. And I know eventually before this one drops, I probably will try it out just to say that I tried it and see if any of them, because I can play old games and I still don't have a problem with them. I don't turn my nose at old games, but it is a big franchise that's been a long time coming. There's a huge fan base waiting for this. So Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 next year. Did you ever play the first one, Matt?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah, interesting. And then we got another game, and I got to look this one up too because this one didn't click in my head. The name did a little bit, but I can't picture it. Instinction.
Yeah, it's like a dinosaur game.
Oh yes, that's right. This is like a survival game, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, you explore a hidden valley with dinosaurs and solve family mystery. It features stealth, combat, puzzles, and supernatural abilities in a wide linear world with stunning graphics and AI. Yeah, I did see this one. This one looks cool as fuck. I'm all in, bro. Again, does it look like it's going to be kind of scary with some of the dinosaurs? Yeah, it is. But you give me weapons, I'm good. Instinction does look cool as hell. So
Yeah, it's like a first person kind
yeah.
of explory kind of
Mhm.
game. It looks like, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that was kind of cool. Looks
yeah, is
kind
that releasing everywhere or I don't know?
I don't
Maybe
see.
PC only. Not sure.
I see it on Steam for sure. Let me see. Instinction game.
Explore a hidden valley with
Yep.
dinosaurs and solve a family mystery.
Yep. Let me see. Do we have platform listings? Yeah, it's supposed to be coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC.
Right on.
So, yep, absolutely. So for all you Dino Crisis fans that we aren't getting Dino Crisis, I know it's first person. I know it's not the same. It's not Capcom, but dinosaur games are always dope in my opinion. So I'm down for another dinosaur game. So this looks cool as hell.
Should we get Arc 2 in 2026 also?
Nobody knows when we're getting Arc 2. Again, the developers ran out of money. That's why they remastered the original Arc, resold it to all of their fans, right? Because they ran out of money. They paid Vin Diesel God knows how much money to come act in their game. Xbox obviously gave them a bag for a Game Pass deal. It was advertised at Game Pass for what? Xbox, what was it? 3 years ago now, Mav? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
Something like that.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
you would anticipate a game preview thing or something.
You would imagine, but
That's
again,
what they did with the first one.
Arc's its own kind of
Yeah.
beast, bro. So the people that play it are crazy. And Arc 2 is probably going to be next level. But we'll see if we got to get word at some point. Again, I just don't know if it's going to be next year. Fragpunk is coming next year as well, Mav. Again, a lot of people played it and said that it does have something different. And a lot of people said this is not another Concord, that there is something cool here. I watched some gameplay of it, and I like it already. Even though it's not necessarily one of my genres, my favorite genres, I'm going to check it out because it looks dope as fuck.
Yeah.
So,
looks fun. Yep. Looks interesting.
Yep.
And then, that one's Game Pass too, right? So
yes,
like,
that one
there's
Game
a
Pass
lot of Game Pass day games on this list.
Oh, bro. Yeah. We're all in. And then Replaced, of course, Mav, the indie game that a lot of us have been waiting for. Mm-hmm. Again, all you Replaced fans, if you don't know, if you have, is Neon Blood coming out to everything or is it just PC to start? I can't remember. Go check out, if you were looking for Replaced and you're kind of disappointed we're not getting Replaced, go check out Neon Blood. Is another indie game coming out in that same exact style. Yes, this is also coming to consoles this year as well. So Neon Blood, go check that out. It's going to kind of fill that same role, that different, obviously a little different atmosphere, but go check out Neon Blood. But Replace next year is going to be massive, Mav.
Yeah.
Again, the hype around that indie game was from the time that it showed. Like, I mean, we were all crazy for it. It's going to be so cool, man. So I can't wait.
It looks sick.
Year.
That's another Game Pass one.
Yeah, I know it's another Game Pass one. Then Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater is expected to be next year as well. And that is looking great. Is it going to be day one for me? No. Day one for Mav? Yep. So I believe 100%. Yeah. So Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater is next year as well. Then, of course, one that's not on this list, because when you put this list together, it hadn't happened yet, but Assassin's Creed Shadows obviously got moved from this year to next year, February, alongside Avowed as well. So Assassin's Creed Shadows is next year. Now, he had put in here Assassin's Creed Hex. That's not going to happen next year.
Yeah, no.
That's not going to happen next year. Resident Evil 9 has a possibility next year. Yeah, we're in that time zone. Capcom's about that time, huh, Mav? About that time.
It could be. You never know, right? I wouldn't be surprised.
They could just show up at the Game Awards because like 2025.
When he did this list too, like Assassin's Creed was like one we probably would have talked about more, right? A pretty damn big game to hit early next year.
Yes.
But also there's another big omission on this list.
Go shoot! I knew
Ghost
it would
of
be.
Yote.
Oh yeah, Ghost of Yote is coming out next year as well. Yeah, you're right.
Supposedly, yeah. I mean that's what they said.
It's we can assume because they did say 2025. So for the time being, Ghost of Yote, another huge one. Yep, absolutely.
I mean, there's GTA 6 alone, like it's like going to be massive. You know,
and this is again not including a lot of stuff. Like
there's games announced every year that get released the same year. Right?
There's upcoming games next year that we know are most likely going to make it. We've got things like Clockwork Revolution I still think an Exile's ready. I don't know when they're going to drop it, but from what they showed us, Mav, a year ago now, and to how fired up their social media has been, they've got to be close, bro. They have got to be close.
Oh, Oates has a big one, Path of Exile too.
Path of Exile 2, correct. It goes into early access now in December. They just delayed it.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make sure they got things right. It will be in early access. But yeah, Path of Exile 2 is going to be a massive
Silk Song's got to be 2026.
You would believe that Silk Song has to be next year. Again, not high on my list, but it's got to be next year, right? It has to be next year. That one's been put off for too long. It's got to be next year. So that is going to be a massive one. I'm just looking at the list too to see if there's anything else. I mean, we know that there's remasters coming out like Lunar and all these kind of games. Again, next year, 2025, Mav. Now that we've kind of said this list, Mav, and we know that there's more. Like we know that there's a ton more in here. But now we said this list of kind of the main ones. I'll say it right now. If it all hits, all things considered equal, next year could be for sure bigger than the past 2 years. Next year could be the crowning jewel of this 3-year run that we are currently on in this generation, the golden age of gaming right now. I think next year could be the year, Mav, the crowning jewel of all. I really do.
Yeah, it very well could be, man. Like there's a lot of cool stuff coming. I think there's more stuff that we don't know about yet. We'll probably get some more release dates, earlier in the year after the year changes over. Then we have, we'll have like the Dev Direct from Xbox, but then we'll have leading up into the summer shows and stuff is when you usually start to get more release dates for games, right?
Yep.
And then when that summer showcase hits, man, as great as last year's was, like I can't imagine what next year's going to look like. We're going to have just big news after big news and more game announcements. And I think overall, you're going to have a lot of Nintendo games that are announced and aren't on this list.
Right.
Because there's a new console coming out.
Correct.
Well,
they will show up with new games.
So there's probably 2 or 3 other big games on there from that side that aren't on this list. Yeah, just overall, it's going to be freaking insane. Massive year. And there was like this year, there was a lot of games that hit that I think a lot of people wouldn't even put on a list like this.
No, no, you're absolutely correct.
Even if they were announced ahead of time, they've just been like, but then they kind of get closer to release. People are like, oh, what's this? And then they take off. Yeah.
And they take off. Yeah, exactly. And you're going to start the year with such a big bang. Sniper Elite Resistance is coming out in January.
Yeah.
We got Adamfall.
Adamfall. That's another one that's not on here. Yeah.
They've been releasing more stuff, and I'm going, holy shit, this game looks amazing. They did another post today where they just did a screenshot and basically just saying how are you going to take this situation on? Right. And they're giving you different options, telling you that you're going to have freedom of choice in that game. Adamfall and Sniper Elite Resistance next year. Again, 2 games that are just going to be like, oh yeah, they're here. And they both of those are Game Pass too as well, right?
I know Adamfall is. I didn't remember if Sniper was.
I think Sniper Elite Resistance is in Game Pass, just like it was last year. So the last Sniper Elite was too. So next year, with the unicorn being, if the unicorn is there and it's Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next year's going to crush.
It's going to be nuts.
It's going to be nuts, bro.
And we also, rumors of something Splinter Cell maybe being sooner than later. So maybe a remaster or something of the Blacklist. I think it was rumored that the other thing, the actual remake or reboot, whatever, is going to be 2026. But I think Tom Henderson said there was more than one Splinter Cell thing. So maybe we get one of the other thing next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
But I just want to look at this list, and I want to check off the Game Pass day and date games to put this into perspective. If you're a Game Pass subscriber, okay.
Yep.
You have Wu Chang Fallen Feathers.
Yep.
Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yep.
Fable.
Mm-hmm.
Avowed.
Mm-hmm.
Clair Obscur, Expedition 33.
Correct.
Let's see here. You got South of Midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Fragpunk,
Yep.
and Replaced.
Yep.
Um,
Sniper Elite Resistance, Atom Fall.
add those two.
Add those two in there.
If Silk Song launches, add that
Yep.
as well.
That's Game Pass day and date. Yep. Already.
I mean, that's just what we know about now.
Already.
Add Towerborn there because it'll actually
Yep.
hit Xbox Game Pass next year as well. Um, man, it's pretty fucking crazy. Did I say Avowed? I might have skipped Avowed.
Yeah, no,
I'm
you
not
did
sure.
say Avowed.
Okay,
And
yeah.
then we still have the Activision Blizzard games that have to start dropping at some
Yep.
point. We have to get the back catalog at some point. When if they roll out in the back catalog the Transformer games, they've relicensed them when they announced that they are working on those Transformer games that are rumored.
Be insane.
Like, think about that. Think about if they did actually get the Ultimate Alliance licenses back and they roll out those. So
oh
not,
my god,
not
that'd be
only
even
just the
better.
stuff that
Yeah.
right, not only the stuff that we know that is going to be there, right? But they went back and relicensed the other stuff, and then we getting those as well. Like, Game Pass next year is going to be freaking ridiculous too. Like, it's been awesome this year. They've done so much, and they're going to continue to invest in it because they're not getting away from it. They're doubling and tripling down on it. So I don't know, man. I just really think next year is going to be over the top. And I think that it's all depending on how they hit. But assuming these games are going to hit, this is going to be the crown jewel. And it really is for me personally.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, like just like what I was saying, when you have a great Call of Duty, like it adds something.
Yeah.
GTA 6 is another one of those franchises, but GTA 6 is even crazier because you don't get one very often anymore. Like this will be the first GTA in 3 generations. Right. So when this GTA 6 comes out, and it's something GTA has always done, is like push gaming to another level, right? Like, and Rockstar in general does that. When they come out with one of their big games, you're like, wow, that's how it's done. Holy shit. How is this even possible? How am I even playing this right now? It's just like, almost seems like unfathomable that we're able to play what we're experiencing when you play a Rockstar game. There's honestly no other developer that I can say that about, but that's what makes Rockstar special. You know, when each GTA they come out with, but like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, this compared to everything else. Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. It's like, people are experiencing this on a Xbox One VCR edition. Like, that game was fucking crazy, dude. Now we're gonna get GTA 6, a game that's been in development for like over like 10 years from them, and like, we saw the trailer, right?
Yep.
We saw what it looked like, and it was pretty mind-blowing there. Like, the animations, like and I wouldn't doubt that's a lot of real stuff in there, just based on the developer, and what they can do. Like, we've seen like possible leak things and all these other kind of stuff. Like, well, they did have the other leak that was legitimate, right? So, it's going to be a monster that pushes things forward again. I really think so.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, they got a lot to live up to, but I think it'll be the biggest launch in gaming of all time.
Yes. Oh, it's breaking all the records, bro. It's over with. All the records.
Yeah.
It's done. I was just thinking to myself too. I was going through this. I got to download StarCraft. I forgot StarCraft 1 and 2 actually came out on PC this week on Game Pass. I totally forgot. That's how far gone I am. I got to get those two. I got to grab those two. But I think next year, yeah, Mavin, you said it, that Rockstar is going to cap off the year in the fall with, again, I've said it, and I'm sticking to it. If it's only on console and it's only 30 frames, I'm not playing it. I don't care. Again, GTA isn't that game for me. But again, that does not take away the fact that I can recognize what that game is, and that it's now sold 5 million copies or whatever the hell it is, Mav.
Yeah.
That they just announced. Literally, it's over 200 million now copies. That is the game, and that's going to be the game that everybody's playing. That 90% of the gamers out here are going to be playing Grand Theft Auto that are on console, and we're assuming again that it's not going to have a PC day one release. Again, that's just that's the way they do things, right? Would love for it to be different this time around, but it's probably not. But that is going to be the game. And like you said, Matt, Rockstar, they push gaming forward. They push details in worlds forward. Red Dead Redemption 2, people don't even understand because the detail that go into that game is stuff in the background that you don't even watch. Again, I've watched videos on people pointing out things that are going on, like the people in the background building a railroad. This one floored me. Railroad, and they're pounding in the ties to the railroad tracks, right? They're pounding in the ties. They actually pound in the ties and then get a new one and move to another spot to pound in a new tie. And this is all happening in the background, and it's stuff that you never would see, you never would interact with unless you got really close to them. But they still have it in there. This is the quality that Rockstar puts out and why their games do last for generations with updates even. But even without updates, Red Dead Redemption 2 is still one of the best looking games ever made, hands down. And that is, again, without any updates for current gen. So this is a special time for a gamer, and especially for Grand Theft Auto fans, which is a huge amount of people, where Rockstar is once again expected to raise the bar, put out a game that sure is still a Grand Theft Auto game, but hasn't been seen before to that level, because that's what people are going to expect after 3 generations. And their current gen update for Grand Theft Auto 5 was amazing. I jumped into it. Mav told me when him and Caitlin obviously were playing it, and he's like, dude, it's changed the entire game. And when it was available for a short time on Game Pass, I'd re-downloaded it just to check out that new update. And it was like a brand new game. So one hand built from the ground up for this long, potentially costing literally at this point $1 billion. Like this could be the first $1 billion game easy with marketing. Man, it's going to blow things up. And it's going to demolish everything around it. Like this is going to be a black hole game for so many people. And so, yeah, man, you got to recognize it. Got to recognize it for what it is, and it's going to make a big impact on next year and in 2026. It's not just a short time that it's going to make an impact. It will make an impact into 2026, and I can't wait to see it. And again, we're now hearing more rumors that Xbox might be on the cusp of announcing a handheld Mav, which, again, if it plays native games, to your point, that unicorn could be played only natively on the Xbox handheld if they don't get it on Switch 2 right away. It'd be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, bro.
It would be a weird world to live in where the Xbox has a handheld device that can play GTA 6 and besides the PS5 and an Xbox Series X or S, it's the only place you could play. Like that would just be that would be crazy. But it's possible.
It is. It absolutely is. But I'm excited no matter what. Like I said, even if it winds up not being something I play day one, I'm still excited to see everybody because, again, those launches don't come around anymore. And it's going to break records. It's going to be some massive talking point for a long time. It's going to be so much fun. On top of getting the Switch 2 next year, which is going to be a massive talking point. And Nintendo this week flat out confirmed, Mav, that the new Switch will be backwards compatible.
Yes. I'm glad they addressed it, man, because I mean, I was pretty confident, but you just never know 100%.
You don't with Nintendo.
Like, they sometimes just out of the blue, like, do something crazy or something. And it's good to know that. I want to, hopefully, we can get some, like, enhancements on games that we own already as well. Am I counting on them for that? Or are they going to resell us the games with, like, other kind of things like that? You know, like, I would like to... something like Fire Emblem Three Houses, or like what was one of the other
Xenoblade.
Xenoblade, Xenoblade Chronicles,
Yep.
So a game like that, like I would like to put it in, and hey, it's just a little bit sharper now, right? A little bit better running on that new hardware. Hopefully, it's possible. I don't know, but
hopefully. Everybody, attention, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, Steel Rain has jumped into the chat, and he is naked and ready to go, just so everybody knows. He says, I'm naked. Let's go. Yeah, I'm sure you
Thanks for letting us know. Still appreciate it, man.
Corkenstein, thank you for joining the show, brother. Great to see you in here. Appreciate you jumping in. Mr. Waffles is in the house too. What's going on, Mr. Waffles? Great to see you as always as well. Yeah, but anyways, 2025, looking forward to it, Mav, as another just ridiculous year where we're just not going to have any time to play them all. But we're just going to be sitting here going, this is glorious. This is beyond glorious, especially Xbox. Next year, Xbox. If you just want to say Xbox, it'll be the first year, I think, where they actually, well, the way it's set up, they should, again, unless they blow up their entire lineup just for Grand Theft Auto 6, which again, I don't put past Booty at this point. But anyways, this should be that next year should be the first year where they have a game every single quarter next year.
Legit,
I mean, in that quarter.
Yeah.
So
they should absolutely they seem like they're probably ready to go on a few of these games. So this is going to be spacing them out.
Yep. All right. Well,
speaking of 2K, they sold off Private Division.
Yes, I was going to bring that up too. I was going to bring that up. Thank you for the transition because yes, Private Division. Of course, this was their publishing arm for their indie games, right? That they helped out. And we had heard that they had shut down the studio that made Kerbal Space Program, right? So everybody didn't know what was going on there. But they did sell off Private Division. Private Division.
It was a private decision.
It was a private decision as of right now because it was for an undisclosed sum and the buyer to be disclosed relatively soon. The buyer purchased the rights to all of its live and unreleased titles. Take-Two did confirm that they will continue to support No Rest for the Wicked directly, though. Mm-hmm. So No Rest for the Wicked is underneath them.
Yeah, they wanted to keep that one.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't know how it's doing since it's been in early access and all the changes. I don't hear people talking about it so much anymore at all, really. Like, I don't know if it's doing good on PC or whatever, but they did want to keep that one for a reason. So, but yeah, Mav, this has been interesting speculation because we did speculate a little bit in the DMs. King has been out here claiming that he thinks it is Microsoft that purchased them. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm not going to say it's out of the realm of possibility. I don't know what the angle would be for Xbox with this division. I'll read this article real quick, just part of it from James Batchelor, editor-in-chief over at gamesindustry.biz. Take-Two Interactive has confirmed the sale of Private Division for undisclosed sum as it drops its indie-focused publishing label to focus on larger projects. In a statement alongside the publisher's latest financial results, the company confirmed another party has acquired not only Private Division label, but all of its live and unreleased titles. Take-Two will continue to support Moon Studios' action RPG No Rest for the Wicked, which launched in early access on PC back in April. The publisher has not disclosed the buyer that now owns Private Division, but CEO Strauss Zelnick told GameIndustry.biz that it will do so relatively soon. Reports that Take-Two was planning on to close or sell Private Division first emerged in June, shortly after news that it had reportedly shut down Roll 7 and Intercept Games, as well as laid off a number of staff. Private Division also reportedly dropped its publishing deal with Silent Hill 2 remake developer Bloober Team. When asked why the company had sold off the label and why it struggled, Zelnick told GamesIndustry.biz it was part of our larger plans to focus on the publisher's strengths in AAA and mobile. Quote, we made a strategic decision so that we could focus all of our resources on growing our core and mobile businesses for the long term. We're really best at these big AAA experiences. We have the biggest intellectual properties in the interactive entertainment business, some of the biggest intellectual properties in the overall entertainment business, and to make sequels to existing beloved franchises as well to create new hit intellectual properties is our mission. I'll just end it there. That gives you kind of a lowdown. So for me, Mav, and we could have a short discussion here about this. My speculation is maybe Devolver Digital. Mm-hmm. Somebody like that, Focus, who's been on a massive publishing run here. And it kind of fits into their, double A. Now they've moved into triple A. I would say with Space Marine 2, but they are that double A indie scene a lot, and they have a great run going right now. They seem to be doing very well for themselves. Maybe this is a time you jump on something like a Private Division. Again, to me, Xbox with what happened with Tango and Hi-Fi Rush, and obviously Toys for Bob being allowed to buy their freedom. I don't know how Private Division would fit into this unless there's really something that they wanted there IP wise. I don't know how that would fit in. I'm not saying it's not a possibility. It's always a possibility when it comes to Microsoft and Xbox. But for me, that just doesn't fit. I know, again, King said it. So again, we'll wait and see what what happens here. But interesting move. But I'm glad they were sold and not just closed down. I'm glad Strauss did find a buyer and a home for most of the teams. Again, they had already closed down some of the teams, including the Kerbal Space Program team. But yeah, I don't know, Mav. What's your thoughts? You've thought about it for a couple of days. You got any speculation who you think bought him?
I don't know, man. I was thinking like it'd be one of these publishers like 505 Games or something like that. Like we see random stuff that are they the ones that
okay? God Emperor says Outer Worlds 1 they would
publish
was published by. Okay, I did not realize that.
Yeah, Private Division published Outer Worlds.
That makes sense. That makes sense then.
So what? Who got Tango GameWorks? Was that 505 or?
Yeah, 505, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
There's like publishers like that and stuff. You know, like that end up kind of making news sometimes, acquiring something that seems like from the ashes, you know, because the Private Division, I think they recently just laid off some people too, right?
Oh no, Crafton bought Tango.
Crafton, okay, that's another one you could throw their hat in the ring too, right? If it's Xbox, if it's Microsoft, it would be interesting. I don't know what their role would be,
right?
Necessarily because they don't really need Private Division to publish new Outer Worlds games and stuff like that, but they would get, I guess, the original publishing rights to the first Outer Worlds, but that's already, I don't know how that works anyway, because that's already, I think it's in Game Pass and stuff already and all that.
It is, but the DLC and stuff is sold like separately. Still. Yeah,
but like that's kind of an older game at this point. Like, would they like what would be? Right. Like that's how much would they spend to?
Right, and they own the rights to Outer Worlds. Obviously, just not Outer Worlds 1. I mean, is it worth it? Or
they own the rights to the IP, just not the publishing rights.
The publishing rights to number 1, and whoever bought them, could they not just cut a deal with them to get the publishing rights back? Like they could cut a deal with whoever bought that Private Division now too. Right. So I mean, there's a lot of different possibilities here. So, but it is a good call. I did not remember that was Outer Worlds.
If it's Microsoft. Like you would think that there's something else that they have.
Yes.
That we don't know about yet. So I was looking through the Wikipedia for Private Division to see like what all they have made and published and what they could work on. So they've done some, Private Division, like they published the physical copy of Hades. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
They did a game called Disintegration. I remember that game got some interesting feedback. People kind of liked it. Ollie World and Roller Drome.
Yep.
So after that though, like you don't have a whole, like you have Kerbal Space Program, right? Yep. Too. But one that's here that they originally were publishing, but then it switched to self-publishing, was Eternal Strands, which is in Game Pass, but that's now being self-published and no longer being published by Private Division. Maybe that happened when the whole falling out with Private Division was happening with Take-Two. I'm not sure. But there's one more listed at the end of this list that says to be announced. And this one caught me off guard a little bit, because it says untitled action adventure game, codename Project Bloom. But guess who the developer is?
Who?
Game Freak. Game Freak is Japanese video game developer, best known as the primary developer of the Pokemon series of role-playing video games, and as one of the co-owners of the Pokemon series. So if Game Freak is working on something that they have the publishing rights to, and obviously there's more, because in that, like in that release, there was and other unannounced games or in announced games. So obviously they have some other stuff too. But like, I don't know. That one just kind of seems interesting to me.
Interesting. Nintendo jumping in.
Yeah,
The rare Nintendo acquisition.
they had
division.
just made a thing about possibly looking at more
Yeah.
acquisitions or something. So
Huh.
Game
That's
for
interesting. I did not know that. That's cool.
you could roll the dice. I could pick. You know, there's like tons of publishers out there, and like I don't think Private Division is the biggest entity.
No.
So like you with the smaller you get, really you're throwing the hat in the ring and tons of different companies, right? But it's an interesting one. But I don't really think it's like necessarily an exciting one for anybody. I think they have more of a name because they were attached to Take-Two, right?
Yes,
and some of the games that they published, but
Yeah.
Outer Worlds was probably the biggest game they published.
Correct. It was.
But now Xbox owns that, you know, and you have No Rest for the Wicked. Take-Two is holding on to that one, you know, so it's like as far as like IPs and stuff like that, you don't really get a lot there except for whatever maybe this thing is. This is the one thing that's like interesting to me. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting.
Action
I had no
adventure
idea
game.
that was happening. So that's crazy. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and this has got to be from some kind of report or something because
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
This isn't like this is on Wiki. I don't know where the source comes from or anything. It's just on Wiki. It says an untitled action adventure game codenamed Project Bloom, developers Game Freak, publishers Private Division, platforms to be announced. I don't know.
Okay. Well, like it says, we'll find out shortly. It's just interesting speculation, and again, I had no idea about that because that would, to me, maybe Nintendo, because again, it's kind of a Nintendo acquisition, like you said, not the biggest thing in the world, but there's some IP there that's again great on Switch. So I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's kind of fun, man. It's kind of fun. Maybe it is just Xbox. Maybe it is just going to be simply what King says. Like they just went out and bought them. Like it's acquisition season again. They're just holding off for whatever reason, but it's got to be soon here. I don't know how it works, but it's got to be pretty soon.
Supposedly there's have 5 titles that were transferred to the new buyer.
Sure. Okay.
So I don't know what those are. There's also a Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game, which is a published by Private Division. That's supposed to be coming out in 2025, developed by Weta Workshop. Weta Studios. Weta, yeah.
Really?
Peter Jackson's old.
Yes, I was just gonna say, yeah. Obviously, cool.
And that's slated to come for the Switch, PS5, Windows, Xbox Series X and S, and iOS and Android. So it's coming everywhere. Whatever that Weta game is. Tales of the Shire, Lord of the Rings game. I don't remember it, but that's one that they're publishing. So whoever acquires them will get basically that and that unknown Game Freak game.
Yep. And Kerbal Space Program and Ollie Ollie World and
well, they shut down.
Well, they shut it down, but they still have the IP. I'm just talking about the IP,
right?
They'll still have the IP. Rollerdrome, which is actually a cool game. Can't wait to see.
Penny's Big Breakaway is a game that came out this year that was Private Division, but
okay.
Don't really even know what that is. It launched and everything. It's kind of looks like a platformer.
Yeah, it does. I was just looking at it to see if there was anything else that was mentioned that they had going on or IP wise, but yeah, no, I think you covered it all because that Game Freak one caught me off guard. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it caught me off guard too, Pong.
Yeah.
When I was looking through this stuff.
Yeah. Just not expected. You think Game Freak only is working on Pokemon shit all the time, right? So
yeah,
kind of different.
And to do publishing with something other than with Nintendo is
right. Weird. They were kind of breaking out. Like, okay.
And Nintendo's like, nice try. We're gonna get you, Private Division. We're gonna actually buy you.
Well, we're gonna find out. Like I said, they can't hold on to it for too long because again, this is obviously a public traded company and Take-Two. So I'm assuming they have to announce within a period of time. So I think it's 10 days or maybe 14 days. I can't remember what the time limit is anymore. When we used to talk acquisitions, I used to know it, but I think
it'll probably come out.
It'll come out soon.
Yeah,
it'll come out soon. not too much left, Matt, but I did want to touch on another update real quick for No Man's Sky. Like I say it all the time, but shout out to Hello Games and shout out to Sean. I mean, literally, they deserve all the credit they've gotten for what they've done with that game since it launched in not close to what they had promised. But what they've done over the past, what is it now, 6 years? 7 years, whatever it's been.
Something like
at this point, is nothing short of absolutely amazing. And they haven't charged a dime. Like they're literally now at this point where people beg them with every update to let them give them money. And Sean says no. And of course, I'm waiting on their new game. What's their new game?
Earth. Something Earth, right?
Light. Something light.
Oh, wait. His I thought his next game was that Earth game where
it is. It's a high fantasy game. And it's gonna have open world. But anyways, that's the one I'm waiting on next. But I played No Man's Sky again. I was day one there. I purchased it day one on the PlayStation 4. But the game is completely different now. But anyways, I wanted to announce that today they introduced cross saves across all platforms, which is massive again. So no matter where you play, your save will transfer now, which is huge. But this was the N7 day, the Mass Effect crossover that I was hinting at earlier as well, because they are big Mass Effect fans at Hello Games, and they actually are introducing a Mass Effect Beachhead Expedition today, and they introduced the Normandy into the game itself, and they released a video for it showing the Normandy in space, and you could fly around it and all that cool shit. Shows up on the planets in orbit. I mean, just how cool. And Sean had to say that this, he said we are huge Mass Effect fans, and I can't describe how happy this makes us. Happy N7 day. Again, just absolute stellar work from Hello Games and Sean Murray. They deserve all their success, and I hope the next game is that big one that, No Man's Sky has become huge. But I'm saying out the gate, I hope their next game hits the way that No Man's Sky originally was supposed to. No Man's Sky is going to be around forever. This is going to be a game that people just continue to play and put hours into. But my God, I can't. Light, no fire. Yeah. That's the name of the new one. But yeah, just what a cool thing, Mav. I don't know if you saw the video, but the Normandy looks great. It does.
Yeah, it looks cool, man. Like I keep wanting to. So much to play. Like I would like to. Man, did you catch the stream when I tried to dive back into No Man's Sky for the first time in forever, a long time ago?
Maybe.
I was so lost. I had no idea what I was fucking doing. I was like, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? Like,
Steel did last year, but he had people helping him. And
that's one of those games like you could just spend forever in.
Ever
want to
ever. Ever. And it's not the same as Starfield because it doesn't have, necessarily all the, acting and the quest lines like it, but they've added a ton of that stuff, but there is so much to do and it looks so good now. Like it looked great back in the day, but what they've done to expand on the planets and what you find and all that, it's so dope, man. Again, if you're into space, again, totally different style than Starfield. Definitely much more fantasy, bright colors, all that kind of shit. But it is such a great game to sit and just have some fun with, man. Like you said, Mav, if you wanted to get serious about it, you could spend forever. It's a forever game. So it's one of those games. But shout out to Hello Games again and Sean Murray. They deserve it. Divinity Original Sin 2 has been rated for Xbox Series and PlayStation 5, Mav. We're going to get a next gen. We're going to get an update,
really?
A patch. Yes. Did you not see this? Yes. This is coming from VGC real quick. I'll just read it real quick since you hadn't heard about it. As spotted by Gamatsu, the definitive edition of Larian's RPG was classified for current gen consoles by European Games Listing Board PEGI on Wednesday. The sequel to 2014's Divinity Original Sin was released for PC in 2017. It won a number of awards, achieved a score of 93 on Metacritic. Again, if you guys played Baldur's Gate 3 and started falling in love with CRPGs, by all means, when this Divinity Original Sin 2 hits current gen consoles, go buy it. Mav will back me up on this.
Yeah.
It is, okay, is it to the level of Baldur's Gate 3? No, because Baldur's Gate 3 had a whole... When they got funding for Baldur's Gate 3, right? And they did their whole funding campaign. They went up and beyond. They got so much money. It was incredible. But the bones of Baldur's Gate 3 were made in Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2. And Divinity Original Sin 2, as far as mechanics go, as far as decisions go, as far as story goes, that's all still in Divinity Original Sin 2.
And it's still really good production
It's
value.
so good, bro.
Yeah, like
Yes,
it does. It's not
charts.
like it doesn't come
No.
across to me as like a double A game or
No,
anything like
no,
that.
no,
Like
no,
this
no.
is a
But it's not
it's
Baldur's Gate 3 again.
right. Baldur's Gate 3 is like, you know, the extreme
Yeah.
of like all the way in. We're
Right.
going big time on this thing. Like, but like I always remember, like one of the things that I loved about Original Sin and Original Sin 2 was like they felt like big, huge, complete games with great production values, good graphics, great story. The mechanics, everything were solid on
Mhm.
there. Some of the best tactics gameplay. I will warn you, everybody, it is not easy.
Nope.
It is not
Nope.
easy. You will have some matches and some battles that you will be like
Just like
getting
Baldur's Gate.
frustrated, and you're like, "Oh man, I
Yeah.
gotta like restart this, rethink this." But it is so good and so worth it.
Yep.
I hope the update's free because I already own the game.
Yeah, so do I. But either way, it's dope that they're doing it.
Yeah.
For current gen, I want to see how much they improve. Like again, they're not going to redo everything. They did the definitive edition already, right? So I'm just assuming performance level,
Yeah.
and obviously, obviously resolution is going to be maxed on current gen, I would imagine. But yeah, again, if you played Baldur's Gate 3 and really hadn't played CRPG, so you've got a back catalog of all these older games, and you look at the older games and you're like, oh shit, they're just too old for me. I just don't want to go back and play them. Again, Mav and I will tell you that most of them hold up just because in CRPGs, turn-based style games, it really doesn't matter as much as long as you're not a graphics whore. Who cares? Again, they still play really well to this day. But if that's the case for you and you just have looked at some of them and you liked Larian's style in Baldur's Gate 3, again, this is Larian. Go play Divinity Original Sin 2 when it drops on the current gen patch. Please.
It's fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's a great game. Yes, it's wonderful. So that was cool news. I did not know that you hadn't seen that today, Mav. Yeah, that was dope.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Like you said, hopefully it is a free patch. I would love for that to happen. Last one, Mav. Actually, two. Real quick. On top of that, Mav, you and I, like we said, this is a golden age for us for many different reasons. We could list them all off again, but one of them is the return of RTSs, Mav.
Yeah.
Warcraft 2 Remastered has been data mined.
Right. Yeah. That one threw me for a loop, right? I was like, what?
What? For anybody who doesn't know, for all you young kids out there who only know World of Warcraft for what it is, MMO, one of the biggest MMOs ever created, the granddaddy, the grandfather's been around now for multiple decades. Maybe y'all don't know, but the original Warcraft was an RTS. Warcraft was first set up as an RTS. Warcraft 2 is one of the classic RTSs that Mav and I both played back in the day. We have talked about Warcraft being brought back during the ABK acquisition as potentially, hey, bring back Warcraft the RTS. Well, it was data mined because obviously people data mine Blizzard shit all the time. They've got graphics for it, Mav. Warcraft 2 Remastered is supposedly in the works, supposedly close by the looks of things or by the sound of things to the data miners. And I said to DMs, listen, if they go into this trouble, like we just got StarCraft. Yeah, we got StarCraft, but they didn't do anything to it. All they did was drop in the PC Game Pass, right? Because it's only on PC. It's not ever been made for console, which both Matt and I believe they should do if they're going to bring back StarCraft.
StarCraft came out on 64.
Oh, it did come out, but it was a completely different version. What I'm saying is they didn't do any work to these. All they did was drop these two into Game Pass for us that are in the Game Pass Ultimate, right? So that's dope. But we do believe that they should make it for console because obviously RTS is it's complicated. It depends on the RTS, but almost every RTS nowadays can be made into a console version because people have figured out how to do the controller support easy. And Xbox is leading the way, obviously. So with World's Edge. So Mav, I said in the DMs, and you obviously agree with me. If you're going to do Warcraft 2 Remastered, if this has been something that's been in the works, Blizzard has talked about bringing World of Warcraft to console eventually. I hope that this is going to drop into consoles. I hope that they made the move and the shift and made console support, controller support for Warcraft 2 Remastered. But man, no matter what, you and I are getting another freaking RTS, one of the classics. It's going to be updated for us, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it'd be interesting to find if this is happening because of the success that they saw with revitalizing Age, right?
Potentially.
And they're saying, okay, well, what? Remember, Phil was wearing that StarCraft shirt. He was
Yeah.
proud to say that the StarCraft games are coming to Game Pass,
Right.
right? And now this is data mined.
Right.
It's one big ecosystem. I know a lot of people are
Yep.
into PC gaming or into RTS as much, but like the more that these games are in both places,
Yep.
the more that's going to change, right?
Correct.
And I think overall, people are already starting to experience some of that with the CRPGs now because of Baldur's Gate 3 became a sensation last year. Got a lot of people to try something they weren't really familiar with playing before.
Yep.
And Age is starting to do that more and more so with console players because they keep releasing and they keep coming out with updates and they're super happy with how well they're doing and they keep talking about how happy they are with how well they're doing. They keep coming out with free content and expansions for all the Age games. It's crazy. So I think they could see I could see them find like, well, if we're doing well with the Age games,
Yep.
we have Warcraft, one of the legacy RTS franchises also in history, right? Uh Bring that back. Let's bring it and let's put the work in. Let's bring it everywhere also. I wouldn't be surprised if they're thinking about doing that with StarCraft also somehow.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. I would love to see it. Man, it'd be so, dude. If I could freaking sit there on my ass in a recliner
Yeah.
and play freaking Age of Empires, Warcraft,
Yeah.
StarCraft, and all that stuff. Plus, also, there's other franchises still coming back and stuff like
Correct.
that too. So yeah, it's just glorious. For me.
It is freaking amazing. And
But
speaking
also,
of,
if not, hey, I get to play them here.
right, exactly. I mean, again, no matter what, but
Yeah.
again, RTS is always for me is just that the fact that they exist and they bring them forward at all, they're there forever. There's something you
Yeah.
can continue to play, like we always talk about. They age like a fine wine. They don't like it's so dope. The other one too. Speaking of Age, real quick, this is not the last topic. I want to get to the last topic here, but Age 2 Definitive Edition also. Somebody took a screenshot this week. Take it with a grain of salt, but it makes a little bit of sense. Age 2 Definitive Edition supposedly being tested for a PlayStation release as well. So again, we said it all along. They're going to try everything, Mav, and see what hits, what sticks, what doesn't stick over there. The RTS is having a resurgence on the consoles. Phil's talked about it on the Xbox side, that how many people playing Age on console. He's been very impressed. Obviously, they keep going back to that. Well, makes sense that they would try bringing H2 Definitive Edition over to PlayStation as a test run to see if they can start cultivating a fan base over on PlayStation. Because as we've talked about, Mav, it's one of the genres PlayStation has nothing. Like they don't have RTSs, so why not?
These things are some of the reasons I love Xbox so much. But I'm not going to pretend like they're going to be the things that drive people for the most part into playing Xbox. So like for me, I care more about the success of the games and the franchises, and if you can have more people play these things, that means we get more of them, right?
Yep.
Because they're making more money on them, and the franchises become bigger.
Yes.
So
the more people playing RTS is the better. Let's go.
Yeah, like 100%, man. I want those games to. I just want to keep the content flowing on it, and I want to see them invest in Halo Wars again. I want to see other RTS franchises. I want to see other publishers pay attention and be like, "Oh, that's interesting. They're making. How'd they do that? Make this huge success with this genre, right? Let's try and get back into this game, and maybe EA starts taking Command and Conquer seriously again. Maybe somebody's like, you know what, those Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth games are pretty damn popular back in the day.
Bro.
Could we do something and maybe make something like that again, or
get them all back?
Yeah, God, we're getting a lot of them back.
Yep, and they're not expensive to make,
and we're getting spiritual successors also. So,
still have that other one coming out this year. Whatchamacallit?
Yeah, Tempest
Rising. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, they're just another behind the scenes closed like beta thing
Yeah.
that they're doing right now.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know. I don't think it's coming this year.
It might get pushed to next year, but
Yeah.
anyways, it doesn't matter. That's fine. But just the fact that we're getting them. But
Hmm.
yeah, like you said, man, the more the merrier when it comes to that type of genre. Again, it's not gonna turn heads, and it's not people aren't gonna freak out because even though it is, technically, Xbox first party or whatever the case may be, because it's just an RTS.
Hmm.
But for those of us that are fans of RTSs, especially on console, the more players, the merrier. The more players, the better. Like Mav said, the more investment, especially with Xbox leading the way with some of the biggest RTS franchises, and we've seen this resurgence now. Literally, if Warcraft 2 remastered's got like this is big, and they don't cost that much in this day and age. They don't cost that much. That's why so many people make RTSs still, even though everybody claims that not a lot of people play them. You see constantly indie to big devs making these RTSs, right? It's just you don't need a huge amount of players to make money off of RTSs. You just need to make them good, right?
Yeah.
But again, they all live forever. They age like fine wine. So I'm just super pumped that we're getting more of these, man. My God, so cool. Last topic, and then we'll get everybody out of here. We're about to hit the 3 hour mark, and I know Mav likes to get out of here too, and Caitlin likes to have her husband back early on Thursday nights. But the last one I did need to touch on, Mav, another genre that we have seen the absolute comeback this generation is the fighter genre. We're
Oh yeah.
still missing a few, but one of them just got scratched off the list because Sega did confirm, Mav, officially, they are working on a new Virtual Fighter title. They had talked about it earlier. They had been asked about this, I think, last year when everybody was seeing all these fighters come out. And Sega said, well, we'd like to bring it back, but we got to figure out how we're going to bring it back for the modern age, obviously, because Virtual Fighter's got a very unique
Been away
style
for a
to it.
long
It's
time.
been away for a long time, and it's got a unique style to it. And so they wanted to make sure they were going to do it right. It sounds like they've done it right. They figured it out, Mav, because they said confirmed it is happening. How excited are you for a new Virtual Fighter, brother?
Man, I love seeing it. Like we talked about
Yeah.
this, but one of the things we're excited about this generation
Yep.
was like these genres, like kind of coming back, and
Yep.
the different categories are treated as bigger, games again. But something that was weird is everything became niche and like, oh, we can't afford to spend too much on developing this, or well, we're just gonna not make those kind of games anymore because they don't have a big enough audience. I think these publishers are realizing that they just need to do what they can do well and make their classic franchises, but do them as good as possible, and you will still continue to serve that fan bases, and they will continue to come back, and they'll still keep growing. So, we saw Tekken, have success. Street Fighter 6 had success. Mortal Kombat's always had success. It's been up and down depending on the franchises or whatever, but this
Yeah.
generation's been way better than last for sure. Um, as far as Virtua Fighter, it's one of the games that always stood above. So, in other words, the way that they handled the 3D environments and stuff was always excellent. Um, Back in the day, it was one of the best looking games as well. Graphically, it was also like a step above most of the others, especially for the 3D fighters.
Yep.
The way that like Virtua Fighter has something else unique about it with the way the movement works, but also with the way that the damage is. Like you got you got to be really careful because some of these characters, like it'll be like a few hits and you can get knocked out.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Yep.
like so I think they have one that's like takes
Keep
off over
talking. I'll be right
half your health or something. So great characters, great franchise. There was a lot of Virtua franchises back in the day that I would like to see come back also. But yeah, Virtua Fighter, it was a surprise seeing that, but I'm super excited. I'm wondering overall, and maybe this chat, if this is going to be something like with their they're doing all those nostalgia, like bring back franchise games, right? They got like Golden Axe, they have Shinobi, they have geez, I can't remember all of them. There was like 4 or 5 that they announced. I'm wondering if they're gonna bring it back in that vein with those kind of games. Mr. Waffle says Virtua Fighter is one of the most technical games to learn. but rewarding when you get the hang of it. Yeah, it was 100%. It was not like it's not a button masher, right? Like a lot of the fighters you can say is a button masher, Virtual Fighter's not. Like it's about movement, sidestepping, timing, and also counters, but also high damage. So like overall, yeah, it's a very, very technical game. Um, I'm curious what I was saying, Pong, is I wonder if it's going to be in in the vein of kind of like their nostalgia, bring back their classic franchises type game, you know? Because it was rumored at the time that Virtua Fighter could be one of those,
Yeah,
or this could be bigger. They treat it as its own standalone big thing. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll
that's what
see.
I'm hoping for is to. I mean, again, I go all the way back. So, Virtual Fighter, when it first came in the arcades, was so different from
Yeah,
everything. I still have fond memories of arcade playing Virtual Fighter, and
remember
then
Virtua Cop,
yeah, Virtual Cop was amazing. And then we
Virtua
got it,
Tennis.
and I got them at home with the Saturn because, of
Yeah.
course, I was an early adopter of the Sega Saturn. And to get near perfect arcade translations in the home, like
Hmm.
that was like, oh my god! Like I can't believe it. I was playing Virtual Cop, right? I was playing Virtual Fighter, but Virtual Fighter is just it's such a cool franchise. Again, we need Soul Calibur to come back. We need Dead or Alive to come back as well. But to see them trying whatever they're going to do, whether this is a smaller, like you said, one of their comeback projects, um, or they go big and they really bring
Try and
back
take
for
on Tech and try and take on
try to
Street
take on
Fighter.
that stuff.
Yeah.
I hope it is big, and Sega's had enough success now that I think they can do that, and I think
Mhm.
they can take the chance and try to push Virtual Fighter again. But that's what I'm hoping for. But either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, I'm cool with it. I want Sega to keep on this Capcom comeback tour that they're currently on. Sonic Generations Shadow just got massive reviews, really great reviews. So if Sega can keep this up in this
Mhm.
Capcom, again, I need Power Stone to come back. From Capcom, but seeing obviously Sega doing the kind of the same thing, copying Capcom, that's what I'd love to see. So Virtual Fighter being in next on the list, this is dope, man.
Yeah.
We need all this stuff.
All right. Soul Calibur, you're next.
Yep, Soul Calibur
Um,
and then DOA.
Dead or Alive.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Need both of those. Again, I could run down the list of fighters because I think this is going to be a bigger one. Because remember, Mav, Sega confirmed that they are bringing back Eternal Champions,
Yeah.
and Eternal Champions was the.
Oddball. Yeah.
I mean, again, I loved Eternal Champions. I played a ton of Eternal Champions, but how many other people remember Eternal Champions is up for debate. So again, I've seen a lot of people obviously on X that know it. Whenever Eternal Champions pops up, I retweet it, whatever else. And I see people jumping in and commenting, but I think that'll be the smaller one. That's why I think Virtual Fire probably be the bigger one. I think they're going to do it big. So
yeah. I hope so, man. I think it'll make waves if we see it and it's really impressive. So
yeah.
yeah, let's get these other ones back. Hey, Marvel versus Capcom.
Yep.
Let's do that one too. Come on. Let's go.
Why not? I mean, again, you guys are doing great, so bring it all back. Capcom and Sega are both doing great right now, so all for it, man. All for it. Yeah, Il Ray Tito says Virtual Cop was a shit. Yeah, it certainly was, man. It really was. Antonio Newman, great to see you too. Thanks for jumping in here. Says I miss Virtual Fighter. Yeah, again, it's a different style, and that's the cool part about all these fighting games is they all have their unique place.
Yeah.
It truly, like, you pick them up and they're all different. So it's really fun. Anyways, all right.
Also, there should be another game still coming from Boone, Ed Boone.
Yes. Yeah, he said there was at least
NetherRealm
two.
should have another one.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what that is. Be interesting. I can't wait. Yeah,
maybe another Injustice or.
I loved Injustice, so
yeah, me too.
I really did. I thought it was really well done, and I loved the style of the leveling up. I loved how they incorporated that in the game. The loot was dope to me. In Injustice 2, I liked that shit. I had a fun time with Injustice 2. Of course, Harley was my main, of course, but I just thought it was a dope idea on how they pulled it off. So, and we are probably obviously getting Killer Instinct back as well already.
Yeah.
So that's been another one. there's no official announcement yet, right? So that's still on the list of comebacks, but I guess I kind of count it as coming back because we all assume now that Iron Galaxy is full time that that's what's happening. So,
What if we got like an announcement of that, like at the Game Awards or something?
yeah, it'd be so freaking. There's a
That
lot of
would be
announcement that could happen at the Game Awards.
Yeah, that would be crazy, man.
It would be.
That would be an exciting one to announce something like that
Mhm.
because that's one that I think also like I think even like a lot of the Xbox fans are saying like, hey, cool, just bring it everywhere or whatever
Oh,
because
yeah.
like it's fighting game franchise like or whatever. I don't. I personally don't. Y'all know how I feel about exclusive. I don't really care, right?
Right.
But just in general, that game like just the kind of excitement it could bring at a show like that. I would like to see it on a big stage. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And a lot of people would be excited, man. Again, Killer Instinct has a massive fan base, bro.
Yep.
So I totally agree. Bring it back and bring it back on that big stage. Let everybody know. So, but the Game Awards is going to be interesting this year. I think we're ready to see some big stuff at the Game Awards this year.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. We're getting close to, Mav. We're like a month away.
Yep.
In a month,
We'll be co-streaming it just like we always do here on Fun Speculation. Come check it out.
Do we have the official date? Yeah, we do. What is the
he started promoting it a little bit.
That's what I thought. I know I saw him the other day talking about their full swing production and they're getting it ready. When is it? December 12th.
12. Okay.
Right. So when does that fall? December
on a
12th.
Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday. Of course it is.
I guessed it. It's always on a Thursday.
Let's go. Let's go.
What time is it? Probably at night, right?
It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So yeah,
wow,
we're right in line with us, bro. We're here. That'll be our special show.
December 12th p.m. in the p.m. Game Awards special. What's going to be shown? Who's going to win?
Oh, it's going to be fun as hell, bro. Yeah, it's going to be a good night, man. Have some of the family show up. Let's do it. It'll be fun. All right, man. Great show. Let's get everybody out of here, man. Let's get you out of here unless you got anything else you want to touch on.
Nope, I'm good, man. Good? Well, we can catch on some other stuff tomorrow.
Yeah, we sure can. So thank you all for joining us for another episode of PM in the PM. Pog and Mav in the PM on a Thursday night. November 7th, episode 137 is in the books. So, Mav, as you were just saying, Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night, live, ready to go. New time, right? 9 p.m. Well, it's
9 p.m. Eastern time.
We are officially there. Yep, a little earlier, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. And you're going to be streaming some more stuff this weekend or what?
Yeah, it should be. Maybe some more Call of Duty or something. I don't know. We'll see what we end up doing and what we playing. Yeah, I would look for maybe one stream this weekend. And then we'll be back Monday FSP and Thursday PM in the PM again.
Beautiful, sir. Appreciate you everything you do in the background too. And Caitlin, thank you for all the hard work you do with all the graphics and stuff. Yeah, everybody again, thanks for being here. You guys know how to find me, Pong Soul, everywhere. X, formerly known as Twitter, on the Xbox, on Steam, Epic GOG. Follow me, I'll follow you back. But otherwise, again, I never know if I'm going to show up. I've been pretty consistent, but again, sometimes I'm late. Xbox Ultimate or whatever the case may be. But I'm going to try to be there tomorrow night for sure. So get here, right? Like Mav said, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time now, the Fun Speculation Network, Xbox Ultimate, where no matter how much of the family is here, we always have a good time on Friday nights. Lots of good talks and lots of good laughter. So join us for that tomorrow night. And then, of course, Saturday morning is going to be living split screen. Set those alarms now. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, live, raw, and uncut. Myself, my brother from another Steel Rain, he already posted it. We will be live for 3+ hours with everything to talk about. And again, the chat dictates a lot of what we discuss. We get into some rants sometimes. We get community stuff going on, but we also talk a ton of games and a ton of gaming. Can't wait to hear what Steel's been going on and what he's been doing. I saw he created his Monster Hunter Wilds character. But he's been playing some Monster Hunter World, I believe, too. So we will get into it on Saturday morning. Living split screen. Split screen is all one word. Join us there. And then, of course, Saturday night, It's the Shop podcast, the best way to end your Saturday night. Have us out in the background while you're playing some games. It's an easy listen, 2 hours. We got Fuzzy Belvedere, we got myself, and of course, we got the main man himself, PTK Blam, and you can find the shop on PTK Blam's channel. I don't know who the guests are going to be this week, but usually we have a guest or two. We had Mav last week, so that was dope as always. He's just like a regular on the show. He shows up at least once or twice a month. So, but be there for the shop podcast. That goes live. We are now different time because the time zone changed because PTK is in Arizona. So it should be 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central time this week and forward because of the from the savings time. So see you there for the shop podcast on Saturday night. Next week it starts all over again. Double Barrel Games channel. Boomstick is the man 5 days a week, but Tuesdays it's all good things green on the Xbox Factor podcast, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central time. Join Boom and the crew there. And then of course Thursday, right back here, me and Mav, PM in the PM, episode 138 next week, God willing, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central time. It's the golden age of gaming. Everybody, please get out there and enjoy whatever it is right now. If you're a filthy casual like me right now, that's cool. If you're into some crazy ass indie games that have just dropped, that's cool as well. Whatever it is, play what you love what you play, and I'm going to talk to you all real soon. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Hey everyone, hope you have a good night, and see y'all tomorrow night. Peace out. Thanks, guys.
Choo choo! Ha 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 ha!
All right.